Doesn't have the same kick to it, does it?
It just no. It almost makes me go back to sleep. We really need a clickier open song again. That moment, that was great. That was great.
We definitely need to, figure out what's going on there.
I'll give it a try with Sino today. Maybe I can come up with something.
I was about to say, do we have any musicians like either amongst us or amongst the audience, like
I'm an
that can compile
musician.
the new Humpday theme? Oh, that's right. You sing, right, Randall?
Oh yeah. I run karaoke.
Yeah.
Who was the guitar guy?
I will talk about it forever.
Who was the guitar guy like at Flutter Vikings? What I think it was.
Oh.
Pass. There we go. I couldn't tell you.
I don't remember. I might have to
I
think it was Flutter.
We've had like 3 or 4 FlutterCons since then. So
yeah, I know, right? We've had 5 FlutterCons since then.
Has it really been that many?
3 in Europe and 2 in the US.
Oh, Freeze noticed your subtitle there, Matthew.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's why I messed up the code 2 comments before, because I've been partaking of the beer that I'm delivering. Yes. Nah.
No, you missed out. You should be saying will code for beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Maybe that'll be next week's. We'll code for German beer. Honestly, I'm still missing.
That was good. That was.
Oh my gosh.
You know we need to get imported now. Get some good beers imported.
Yeah.
Right. Well, here's the thing though. Like I've noticed that like American beer imports never taste as good as like having the beer in the home country. And I don't know if it's because we bottle it differently over here or something happens as it's transported overseas or what it actually is. But
it might be because they have to actually, like, if it's properly imported like that, then they probably make it for the US market because they've probably got laws and other things in place that they have to obey. So it's probably produced differently.
You know, I would say though, I had a spiritual experience at FlutterCon, and yeah, and it didn't involve beer. I'll tell you what it did involve though. I had a Coke that was in a glass bottle, and oh my god, I have never had such a good Coke in my entire life.
Like, there's that thing that doesn't. Is this not a thing in America? Like
No, it's not. Like you can sort of find it, but you have to hunt for it, and you have to really dig around to get it.
It's more common in Europe. So first of all, most main cities, including London, do that. They do it because they can price them up a bit higher, I think. But the other side of it is in Europe. In Europe, it's really nice. So that's the Fanta Coke mix, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, from Germany.
There's another thing though in things like Germany. Those bottles you can claim your 20 cents back on each bottle. I think it's or 50 cents maybe on a bottle. I can't remember. So the idea being that you recycle them because you get your money back, right? So, or they're left underneath bins in like Berlin City. You put your bottles underneath bins, and then the homeless people come around, collect them, and then to take that money for themselves, basically. So there's a job there as well. So it's quite a practical way of doing things, I think.
Yeah. It's a really elegant and very cool system. And it's interesting on the beer front because I don't know if you know what Yingling Light is, but it's terrible. And my in-laws, that's the beer they drink. So every time I go to the in-laws, it's like, would you like a Yingling Light? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Sure.
It's what the college kids drink because it's all they can afford. It's the college kids.
Yeah. I mean, so I was telling a coworker about this, and he's like, well, they just want to keep you hydrated. And I felt like that was probably the best way of describing Yingling Light. So yes. Anyway, we're not here to talk about beer. We're not here to talk about German beverages or Coke. I'm sure we've got more important things to discuss. So,
so far, not yet.
So far, not yet.
I'm waiting patiently for the first bit of actual on-track evidence here.
So, I guess, we can just go around the room pretty quickly since we're all here. So my name's, it's all on the screen, isn't it? We put these on the screen now, so it's kind of easier. But my name's Simon Light, Flutter Community Leader and CTO at Dev Angels London. We have a Randall.
Randall Schwartz. I've been a Flutter and Dart Google developer expert for 7 years now. Before they take it away, they may any day now. And what I do, that means that I spend a lot of my time on the socials like Discord and Reddit and Stack Overflow and stuff, answering questions for y'all out there. And I also give virtual presentations to various GG groups around the world. And I also am occasionally in person, as I was a few weeks ago, up at FlutterCon in New York. That was a lot of fun. So on this show, however, I have a very specific purpose, which is that I am watching the chat, watching for you to put a question in with Q: in front of it. And that will flag it for me, which I'll flag for the team, and we'll get to them in the order they're presented, unless you ask the same question twice. If you ask the same question twice, you come out of the place and get dropped to the lower place. So don't do that. We have seen all your questions unless they had a URL in them, but that's another story. I think I'll just shut up now.
Do we want to? Yeah, Daniel, go on.
I was going to say, yeah. Okay, so I'm Danielle Cox. I'm the Flutter tech lead at a company called Ardley, and I'm one of the organizers for the Flutteristas, which is a great thing to do. I love that. And yeah, so that's kind of me. And Randall, it's been 3.5 months since FlutterCon.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
there's been a whole other FlutterCon since then.
Whoa.
Anyway,
is it still 2025? Is it still 2025 though?
Just
for about another week and a half. Yes.
Sure.
Where did it go? Who was it? Was it Craig that did the there was one of the Flutter team members that did the clock on Twitter, right? The year progress. Have you seen that yearly progress?
I remember that. Yeah.
Still around. It stopped working after the API, but then the updates have gone differently, so that they work now with the API. There's like 100 updates in a year only. So once the percentage changes, it changes, right? But that's actually every time I get a notification saying yearly progress and that the percentage goes down, you're like, we're like 70% through the year, like already. It's like, oh my god, like this is nuts. Like,
I've got a widget on my, I've got a terminal or whatever, which is it's just a e-paper kind of public domain kind of thing on that, and I've got a widget on that that I downloaded on there. That's like, it tells you the number of days to retirement.
Okay, I can like that's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
So anyway,
I think like a fun artistic statement.
They keep changing the retirement age here, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm never going to retire, guys. I'm going to work, and then one day I'll just have a heart attack, and you'll see me slumped over in front of my keyboard, and that'll be that.
He died how he wants to live, working on his computer.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Not me.
I can't quit either.
Not me. I want to retire.
No way.
I'm not saying I wouldn't wouldn't keep working on Flutter stuff and making things, and creating stuff. But no, I want it to be me and not have to.
But that's the difference, right? You'd be for you rather than
exactly. Yeah. So 100%, I want to retire.
Well, my career was flexible enough that I've been all over the world and been to all the places I'd want to go to, and I've seen tons of things I've wanted to see already. I don't know what I would do if I retired, because it would look a lot like what I've already done for the last 30 years. So. One way or the other. I've had the privilege of having some really great gigs over the years that have gotten me all over the world. So I appreciate that. 68 countries now.
Yeah. And honestly, Randall, I kind of feel like that's the way to live life. But anyway, Go ahead, Simon.
I was going to say, we're going to skip the do's and don'ts because, we're kind of into the show already. Plus, also, everyone's kind of seeing it all the time. I think we might try and shorten that down just to be like,
be nice.
Be nice. Otherwise, you get kicked.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. We have ways of taking care of those people.
It just sounds wrong. Right. And there's also, hang on. There we go. If you want to share code in your question, you need to post it as shown on the page here, which is you go to just.new, you can use GitHub, pop in the file name, something.dart, paste your code in or your question and whatever else you want in comments, and then you copy, like as point 6 mentions, you copy the hash from the URL into your question, and we can go look it up. We will do some live coding on the second half of this. It'd probably be me and Randall. I think Matthew, Daniel, you said you have to leave out the first hour, was it?
I don't know why everyone keeps cutting out for me. I don't know if I'm cutting out for you or not.
You're fine on our side.
I believe I have a hard stop at the hour, but I will double check because there was some talk about rescheduling the meeting that I'm supposed to be drug into. So
Okay, well,
I'll let you
we'll see how it goes. Play by ear. So yeah, but if you do post a link in your chat messages, everyone, we will not see the entire message. So the entire message gets removed. No links. Linky no worky. Yes. Anything else we want to add before we kind of crack on? I guess it's the main bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty well.
Oh yeah, and do you want to plug your channel, Matthew?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Matthew. I'm a senior mobile developer at a bank that I can't tell you what it is. That's like the new joke. But I also I have a YouTube channel where I make cool stuff out of Flutter. So just look up Makerinator on YouTube, and that's me. And I am hoping to have a new video out later this week featuring stuff from FlutterCon. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
But fingers crossed.
Nice.
So. Yeah, and speaking of making stuff, going back to the previous conversation, I think it'd be fun to okay, this is going to sound morbid, guys. This is going to sound terrible, but I think it'd be fun to make a death clock. Okay, so here's how this works, right? You put in your age, you put in
it sounds like fun when you're younger.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You
Not
put in,
so fun for those of us or closer.
Simon, you and I are the same age, but you put in all of your medical history, any health problems, your family history, all that, and then based on that, it makes an estimate of how long you're likely to live, and then you have a countdown clock that you just hang on your wall. That's this is how long you have. What you're gonna do with today? I just feel like it could be motivational in this dark and somewhat disturbing way. It's man, I just spent 3 hours watching SpongeBob SquarePants. I can't get that back,
That it'd be nice if
you
it
seen that episode.
Yeah,
have you seen that episode of IT Crowd where they did that and how scary it was for the person who predicted just that Friday, whatever it was?
Oh gosh, I have not seen that. Oh my god!
IT Crowd.
Hey, is that the one where he's in the church and he pumps up his mobile phone and it starts buzzing?
Yeah.
Yep.
He
thinks he's having a heart attack. He's like, "Oh no, it's just my phone."
Yeah. Wait, is this the show where they told everyone they put the internet? They put the internet in a box with a blinking LED on it.
Yeah, same show. You need to watch every episode of that show. Absolutely,
episode. Yes,
it's hilarious.
There's only 24 episodes, so it's not hard to get all the way through.
We only do 6 episodes a season over here for shows and stuff. Maybe 8. I managed. I just picked up a GSM hat for my Raspberry Pi.
Dope.
That's been fun. I'm trying to get it to run at 10 megabit connection speeds.
So is that 4G or 5G?
4G.
Okay. I've been looking at them because I have stuff that I would like to just connect directly to the cell network. The 5G ones are $350. It's insane. To get a 5G hat for your Raspberry Pi. It's
why? Why would you want to fight you don't need that?
Because someday the 4G networks are going to be decommissioned, and then
not anytime soon. Trust me, not anytime soon.
Yeah. Fair.
Way too much legacy.
You're gonna be lucky if you can get 3G gone. 2G still hanging around like a dead piranha.
Man, I remember when I got my iPhone 3G, and I'm like, internet speeds will never get faster than this.
Yeah, Brenda, kind of admits to being wrong a few times in her life. One of them was when I wanted to get TiVo, and after we got it, of course, she was definitely on that. But the first one was when I wanted to get high-speed internet back in the 90s. And by the way, high speed was what, 56K at that point or something? I don't know, whatever it was. But I wanted to get high-speed internet, and she's like, "You don't need that."
You just reminded me. So we had a thing called ISDN lines. Was that a thing in America as well?
I had an ISDN line.
112 kb. So they basically double the speed of a 56K modem. But then you get double bonded ISDN. And
112K, yes. So nice.
You had
I had that for a while.
Ridiculously fast speeds at the time.
Right.
And then ADSL dropped at 256K, and I remember getting that, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" And then it's like, we're going to double your speed to 512, then to a megabyte, and within a year, we were having 4 8 megabit internet, and there was still like schools and stuff that with 1 megabit fiber connections going. This was like the latest technology, and like people, relatively recently in companies having like 2 megabit, 4 megabit ADSL lines, which is just like nuts.
Well, when I can get a gigabit on my 5G phone, it's like insane. I couldn't have imagined. Well, I didn't imagine this back even 10 years ago. It's just crazy.
I think this kind of comes back to a little conversation I had the other day, which I think might have been at FlutterCon actually, but is like, do we drive technology or does technology drive us in terms of like it's like with sci-fi, like things like that.
Oh,
we
that's
have like
philosophy.
pads in Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
It's always there's this cycle of, do people grow up seeing it and go, I want that, so they start sort of like trying to build those things or trying to work towards that, and that drives technology forwards? Or is it like, they didn't, because people talk about them predicting it, right? They're not predicting it. So I don't know. There's that kind of like catch-22 kind of thing going on there, right?
I don't want to go down the philosophical rabbit hole, but I believe that technological innovation is one of the key components of what it means to be human. And I think that if we ever stop advancing, we stop being human. That's what I really think. But it's funny because the way that I managed to convince my parents to get high-speed internet was I was on the internet so much when I had a dial-up modem that whenever people called the house, it was just always constant busy signals, like all the time. And like my grandmother would like pick up the phone and just like, why is this thing not working? Why is it making all this racket? And like pound the hang up button a bunch of times. And
that would just
yeah, it was just like an ongoing battle at our family. This is
a very common thing during the 90s, right? When people started getting internet at home. And then there's a massive boom in telecoms where they like add extra phone lines to properties.
Yeah, I always had 2 phone lines.
So you can have an internet line and have your telephone line right next to each other, right?
I got a great story about that, real brief. So I was in the 90s. I had a friend who had dial-up modem. I was over at his house. And it turns out he has a party line. And so we picked up to dial the modem, and the other party was on. And so he immediately hushed the microphone, and we listened in on their call. I know this is probably illegal, but statute of limitations is long gone, right? So we were listening in for a while.
This is the same house. This is the same property.
And the one said to the other, did you hear that? It sounds like somebody's listening in. And the person, probably obviously the resident next door, said, well, yeah, we have a party line, and it's so sometimes they tie up the phone, sometimes for a long time. And the other person said, well, can they hear us? And the other person said, well, no, because when we hear them, it's just a bunch of beeps. We had to hang up the phone so fast to keep from giving away. Yes, because it's modems.
That's fantastic. Yes. So Simon, I got a question for you. Like,
before we jump on something else, I just wanted to show you. So we went to the I said if you come over, we should go there. The Bletchley Park, where they did the crypto stuff for right. Anyway, and there's the National Computer Museum is next door, and I managed to pick up this little like solder kit.
It's
actually got a valve in the middle.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna have some fun putting that one together.
My god! I need to get my hands on one of those. That is awesome.
It's like fun.
Oh my god!
We do have a question if you want to get started.
Let's go. What were you going to say, Matthew? Before and then
no. It's complete. We're here to answer people's questions, not shoot the breeze. But no, I was just going to ask. Like, we had AOL, which was America Online. That was the huge thing. And here, what was it in Britain? Did you have BOL? Like, I don't understand. Like, what
AOL was AOL was very popular. Yeah, it was one of the ones. They were international, you know.
Wow.
So I think
let's answer
AOL,
questions.
So what happened was there was an AOL, but then something happened over here. So because of the way British Telecom works and the nationalisation of the telecommunication system, they actually have to offer services as part of the. So won't bore you with this, but briefly, during I think it was the 90s, it might have been the 80s. BT was considered a monopoly, and they had to break up the company, and they separate off the network management from the BT sales. So that kind of makes sense. So like the BT became its own customer in effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this meant that people can now buy the services from the back end network of BT at wholesale prices, right? So there was a huge competition over here with telecommunications and different partners and cell phone providers and everything else during that time. And what happened with the internet providers like AOL is they just became essentially a supplier through BT's network system, right? But so did lots of others. So you actually had supermarket brands having like CDs that you would have like their internet supplier on and stuff like that, but they're all just reselling on the network services at wholesale from BT. Basically, there was a massive boom, and it was all like about driving down the prices and stuff. And it really was really good market because literally you'd get 3 minutes on every disc. So every disc had like its serial number, so you would get free each time you would install it. You'd get like 1,000 free minutes or whatever it was of internet or whatever it was. So there was a big boom in just like people using these discs up, basically.
Yeah, that's a whole other rabbit hole I could go down. But anyway, question time, right?
We have questions. Yes.
Cool. Let's jump into questions.
Yes. First one is a two-parter. Let me just suggest for the rest of the show, if your question takes 2 parts to ask, we're probably not going to be able to answer it. It's just too much to have context to be able to get things through. We have limited context here. We're not like a big L.
Use the code snippet. Post. You can use the code snippet stuff and post some context. Right.
So part one,
we collectively have 100 tokens each, and so we have like 400 context tokens between us. Sorry.
Exactly. That's okay. I get that. That's cool. Madan Kumar says, I created a Flutter module, then built an Android wrapper SDK that will be integrated into a host Android app. So it looks like add to app. When I created the Android project, integrated the SDK, part 2. The APK size is around 440K or 440 meg on Windows machines, but only about 40 meg when I build it on my Mac. Why is there such a difference?
Because something's broken in your build.
That was simple.
I mean, I cannot say that there's literally no disparagement between those two. I think you'll probably find though that the APK. So you have to remember, and this is something that's always messed up with when people look at these things. You're building up what's called a FAT APK, which means it contains all the various versions for every different processor. There might be 4 variations in there. Each one of those, so the minimum size of the runtime uncompressed I think is like 8 megabytes. I think with maybe some other libraries, probably going to be seen about 20 meg. So that's probably 80 meg of that is just the various platforms. Now, here's the key. That's not what your user downloads to their phone. So this is what you upload. It's a package of your app to run on various different different bits of hardware, right? Different chips, different CPUs that can run on Android. When you upload that to the Play Store analyzes it, and then it rebuilds an APK for each different variation they can download. And in fact, it goes so far as to there's a new format that you want to be using. So that's called a bundle. Yeah,
application
AAB,
bundle.
Android app bundle. And if you build an app bundle instead of saying build Android or whatever it was with Flutter build Android, it's Flutter build app bundle or something like that. That would actually reduce that size, and also it means that the stores can actually re-sign the downloads and only download parts of your app. So this means this is a critical point. Let's say you make a change to your Dart code, and then you re-upload it as an AAB. What's going to happen is the app. The Play Store only downloads the change to your libapp.so file, your compiled Dart code to the device. It doesn't have to download libflutter or any of the rest of it because it's already downloaded. It's the same. So it only downloads the differences in your app release. Obviously, if you upgrade your Flutter version, then it will download libflutter, right? But the point here is that by using an app bundle, you can get reduced download sizes and essentially reduced deployment sizes as well. So worth looking at that. But yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. I mean, another thing to mention here is an APK is just a zip file, right? Rename your file .zip and go look at what's taking up all that space, right? Open it up in WinZip or WinRAR or whatever program you want, whatever compression program, you can see what's taking up all that space and work out what's causing it to get so big. It could be that you've just included a file in your resources by mistake, right?
It's interesting because a lot of people don't realize how common that is. Like I showed someone once that, you know, any application you install on your Mac is like, it's just a directory and you can go in and look in and poke around and see what's inside of it. And I thought I blew their minds because they were like, wait, this is just a directory. This is just a folder. And I'm like, yep, it's just a folder. So
folder with an extra bit that lets Finder know this is a special folder. You don't show the contents unless they're smart.
Hi, Steph.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Next question, I guess. Sure. Hashan Kanangara, which I'm going to mangle just then. I want to show a large image in Firebase in a push notification. Ooh, we can't find any proper way to implement in iOS. There's notification service as Swift, but will not work as expected. Just how large is this image?
So you said large. I don't think you can. And then like this is the difference with like different platforms, right? They all have their limitations. What is your push? Are you doing you're saying Firebase push, right? There is actually a reference to that. But yeah, again, there's probably limitations on what the platform will download. So you should look at what Apple's limitations are around that. Let's have a look. To support images, push notifications using notification. A notification extension is required. This notification has its own deployment target. That's fine.
I guess a follow-up question I would have is, are you trying to do this manually or are you trying to use awesome notifications?
Highly recommend awesome notifications.
So apparently there's a what's it here? Hang on, sorry. Populate notification content is a function in the Firebase extension, which apparently solved this. Someone's had the same problem on React. So they Googled it. It doesn't mean it magically starts working, mind you.
Oh, he's got a follow-up here. Hold on. Like an Instagram notification, which shows an image with title content. But those are limited size, probably still. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the point, right? So the question here is two things, right? Obviously, it works. So the question is how. So you can go look up the. You have to go look up the Firebase documentation around when you send a notification. You send it a certain. There's a iOS. Let me see if I can find it to bring it up on stream. That's not the reference. I want the reference. Let's see if I can get this to come up on stream. That's not the way. That's one. Let's see if we can get this to work. There we go. So this is the API, right, for when it sends a message. And the message itself is broken into a few different segments, right? So here you can see name. If it's a data-only message, you only need to send the data fields, right? You can ignore that if you don't. Otherwise, if it's a notification you want to pop up and automatically populate, then you need to send the notification point here. But if you notice, there's a section for Android, a section for web, and a section for Android push notification service. These are the very specific configurations on those platforms, right? So first of all, notification, title, body, and image, right? There you go. Look, JPEG have full support across platforms and MGIF only works on iOS and WebP. HEIF has, and then HEIF has varying levels of support based on the platform. So it could be that your JPEG is a high, it's the, what's it called? I can't forget what HEIF stands for now. High encoded image format, something like that. High pass. Anyway, but it's a version of JPEG that's got it's basically H.265, which is like the next sort of compression standard. Anyway, Android has a 1 megabyte size limit, and Quota uses implications on Firebase storage, right? So basically, there's an interesting point here. Android has a 1 megabyte. There's probably another similar limit on iOS, and we'd have to go look up the iOS documentation for that specifically, right? In the meantime, if we go back to back in here to APNs, we might be able to find some more reference in here. Request headers, so you can pass an extra metadata payload. So that's where if you put payload in, then that's going to take over, and you won't use title and body. But there is a payload key reference here, which is helpful. Generating a remote notification. This looks like the documentation we're looking for. Category blah 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 blah. And what you'll find in here is you can see here that there's badge, for example. Put the number, sound, and probably somewhere in here will be image, I would assume. Or content in some way. Mutable content, notification extent. Yeah. The notification service app extension flag. One is system pass notification to your service app and extension before delivery. Your extension is then to modify notifications content. So that actually sounds like maybe what you want, or something like this. So basically the way it works on iOS is that it has to fetch it, then get the content for the push, which will be the image, and then show that on the screen. So I'm wondering if you need to, because it says you need to have an extension to do this. Service app extension to your project. Blah, 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 blah. There, this is it. Look, base intent content. So this is about it fetching that content based on whatever's in the push notification. So in this case, look, he's putting, this is just an example of using encrypted data as their magical thing, right? But this could be whatever you want, right? Idea being you put whatever you want in your stuff. So this could be an image, right? Think of this being an image, and then your function, which did receive notification with content, right? Then we'll go into here, and then you would get the image, and then you can then go download the image, and then update the push the notification and show it on the screen. I guess that's what it is. That seems to be what I'm reading up about, at least when I was looking at this. So
I do have an alternative solution for him, but I'll wait for you to finish.
Oh yeah, please. I'm just like exploring here. If there's not an image attribute, then launch image.
So
name the launch image file to just.
I don't know if using awesome notifications is an option for you, particularly if you're using FCM. You do have to pay for a premium license, and that's going to be $10 a year. That might be a deal breaker. It might not. But the inside of awesome notifications, there is the notification layout. And inside of the notification layout, there is a property called Big Picture. So if you set Big Picture to the image you want to display, it looks, and I can't verify this, I haven't tried it, but based upon the documentation, it looks like you should be able to accomplish what you're looking for. So I would potentially dig into that and see if that's an option for you.
So this is a similar problem that someone's tried to use React, right? So looking at this one, for example, pop on your image, notification image on FCM, and it should show like this or whatever on iOS. So it's basically saying that you might need to do some updates. Someone's suggesting here that you can create a new service extension, include the messaging pod, and then you have your populate notification content function. And there's a video here showing how to do it. And lots of people seem to have had good ideas with this. So I'm assuming there's probably something similar you could do here with hold up. There's actually a page. Send iOS send image. Send an image notification payload. supports sending image links in a payload to display notification with image download to the device after delivery. This function both supports images and videos for Apple's documentation. Here we go. Images uploaded to notification composer are limited to 300 kilobytes in size. Image stored and served from a cloud platform. I've got limits. And here you go. Here's what you need to do: set up a notification service. There you go. So this is the bit you're probably missing. Build a request, which you said earlier. Mutable content, what I just told you earlier, right? You need to have that in your APN's configuration, and then FCF options image contains the URL, and then it works. And here's an example of that. Right, so here's what I'm saying about the message. So you put your title, whatever, and then you need to put in the APN's configuration, the image. So actually, this looks like it's the solution. There you go. Immutable content sends a request to the service extension, receiving it to go handle the image delivery after the payload. Yeah. So there you go. So this is actually what you need to do. There's a guide on it. There you go. Look at that. Even better.
Cool.
So yeah, follow the guide. You have to do this. Obviously, create a service extension, and then that's how it links up the download of the image, basically. Because Apple.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Sure.
Yeah, my mic was muted. I was just going to say you have to set up that service extension as part of Awesome Notifications too. I think that's just part of doing stuff with iOS.
So if you just follow that guide, then it should work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Madan Kumar, I think, asked a question earlier as well. Built a Flutter XC framework from a module debug symbols not generated for plugin registrant or Google Maps, but were generated for the app and the Flutter XC framework. Any suggestions to fix this? Debug signals for plugins. What if he?
So basically, you want debug symbols for all of your separate plugins. There should be generated. I can only assume that it's something to do with maybe your schema, the way that you're configured Xcode. So Xcode, that you get the different Xcode frameworks for Flutter, which are already pre-come with their symbols, right? Now the plugins themselves are being built as part of your app. It builds some source code, so the symbol should be being built when your app builds, your iOS app builds. So I'm going to assume that maybe you've got something wrong in your schema. Maybe you're building the plugins as release versions with the debug app, so they're not getting the symbols because the symbols aren't generated for release versions. So have a look at your schema and configuration about how it's including things. I don't have a particular way of looking at that right now. So hopefully that helps put you in the right direction. But basically what you're looking at is nothing to do with Flutter. If you're Googling Flutter problems, you're looking in the wrong place. You probably just want to be looking at iOS build issues, right? So looking around for guides around Apple and iOS and Xcode, things like that. Anyone else? Anything input on that one? No. If that helps.
And that was the last question for a bit. So please put your questions in if you want questions answered.
Look, Andy actually said the same thing there. Yeah, if I had to write an extension on that. So, which is what we just saw with that documentation. I like the way they've actually provided the documentation, to be honest. It just obviously it didn't get surfaced very well in their on their website because someone missed it, obviously.
Cool.
I think another thing is that it's kind of interesting when you actually go to look at the send APIs, it doesn't indicate that at all. It just says here's an image you can pass in your notification. Doesn't work on iOS unless you follow this guide or anything like that. So there is probably a problem there with documentation for sure.
Possibly.
So while we're waiting on more questions, Simon, what's your plan for your Pi hat? Because that's the thing I'm interested in. I want to know what do you have like a
No, I just wanted internet accessible for a Pi without actually having a Wi-Fi connection. So there's no.
Does it come with like drivers for Linux, or do you have to write them yourself?
So the way it works, so this is actually what I was actually looking at. So it uses like the Haze AT command set. So the original Haze AT command set, for those people who don't know, is basically the way you communicate with the modem is over a serial connection. and you need to be able to send commands over a serial port to get responses back from the device you're connected to. So back in the day, your modems would be external, plugged into a COM port on your computer, which is a serial port. So you'd send a certain set of commands. And the problem was you didn't want to have certain specific drivers for each and every different modem and its version and everything else. So there was the Hayes modem manufacturer back in the area, this is like 300 baud, I can't remember what it was, came up with this notion of commands that you could send down the line, and it would like tell it to dial or to see if it's available and check the phone line for, you know, the open signal and all the rest of these kind of various commands you need to send. So the Hayes 80 command set was standard. Over the years, it has been extended and extended. And the command sets now include things like IP. So you can actually open up a socket using essentially Hayes AT commands, right? So it's like 80 plus IPH plus, I know, and then you give it the IP and port, and then it will open up a socket, give you back a like an ID, and then you can actually tell the modem, I want to send data to this IP, to this socket with this ID, and then the amount of data, and then you follow with the actual raw bytes, and it would send it to the IP address. So there's different levels of these. There's extensions for like HTTP, so you can just do, depending on if the modem chip support, you can just do HTTP requests over AT commands, essentially, right? So there's some really crazy things you can do like that. But one interesting point here is that one of these is PPP, which is point-to-point protocol, which is the standard way of doing point-to-point internet connections. This is how essentially you have PPP OE for Ethernet over PPP connections, which is how you might get online with your internet provider. So if you're using a cable modem, things like that, that's PPP. Well, the connection between the Linux operating system and the modem is a PPP connection. So standard PPP protocol. So all the Linux-based PPP stuff just works.
Amazing.
Wow.
So you just set up the baud rate and various other things, a couple of like default parameters, and that's it. It just works as an internet connection.
So I remember setting up my Hayes modem back in the day where there was a checkbox in the configuration that says, does this phone line accept tones, or is it just clicks? And that determined whether you did ATD or ATDT. Wow.
So
yeah.
It looks like we got some more questions, but real quick, Simon, if you're looking for like an IoT SIM card, check out some place called Hologram. It's like $1 a month to just have a SIM card for your IoT thing, and then it's like 3 cents a megabyte, so definitely take a look at that.
I mean, we just have like packages here, which is like you pay £20 a month and you get unlimited internet.
Oh, no, okay, fair.
It's like there's like standard here that pretty much standard here that you just get unlimited internet connections on everything now.
Nice.
I mean, they say unlimited. They always say unlimited. It's like unlimited, but due to our service policies,
right?
Like they can do the thing basically that says it's unlimited until we don't want it to be unlimited, right? So use too much, that's unreasonable.
There's a soft limit. There's a soft
limit.
It's
now you're a high-powered user, and now your internet connection gets degraded, right? Or some other.
It's unlimited till you hit 30 gigabytes, and then we're going to throttle you and technically give you internet, but you essentially don't have internet. Yeah.
Just like the
1981.
The cloud server. Go ahead.
There you go. Sorry. Go on.
Yep.
I just want to quickly show this off, actually, since we're here. I wonder if we've got a list of the commands you send.
Yeah, I had forgotten all about it. Yes, this is
ATTT. I remember that very fondly.
Yeah, there we go.
The number that you want to dial. Yeah, dial and see it. Yeah, attention. AT for attention, D for dial, T for touch, tone, blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then you get a ring response, and then you get ATA saying that it's been issued to command. Connect. Yeah. Oh, no carrier. All very command. But actually, it's quite funny because all these responses, like no carrier, are in the PPP configuration.
That's crazy.
So when you get these responses back, it's still there. It's still there under the hood of everything. It's still there.
Wow.
Yeah. Auto board. Answer incoming call. Repeat last command. Dial. Echo. Check the hook. Inquire. Yeah, this is like the command set.
Speaker loudness. Definitely
speaker.
important.
Quiet mode. Yeah, so there was like lots of this kind of command set, but as I say, they've increased over time. Let me actually just because we're waiting
This
for
is
some more
back
questions.
when
Can
we
we
had.
feel free to answer your question? Otherwise, we'll jump on some live coding
Yeah,
only, I guess.
there are some questions
Um,
here.
I
Let
will
me flag the last one I just saw. Hold
before
on.
we jump onto a question. Hang on a second.
Okay, I will be standing by.
I'll see if I can find one thing. Right when I want it.
While Simon's looking, Free, I'm really excited. I heard you did a talk on multi-window Flutter, and I'm hoping it gets
It's
posted.
not
in the near
multi-window
future.
Flutter. I had a chat with him.
Oh, never mind.
No,
Never mind.
it's multi-view,
Oh,
which is
multi-view
something
Flutter.
slightly different for web.
It
But
is.
it uses the multi-view stuff that we're talking about, which is how multi-window's going to go, but it's not multi-window yet.
Got it. Never mind.
If that makes sense.
Okay, Freya, I'm no longer interested in your talk. I don't
think
care.
there
I'm
is-
never going to watch it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think there is actually some talks are going to happen. I think some talks did happen about desktop, but I didn't follow which ones are which. I'm just going to wait till they come out on the YouTube series and see where you go from there. Here you go.
Oh my gosh.
Hang on, before we go there, look, all these lovely commands. Look at them. They're not the basic ones anymore. Let me just skip down a bit here. Come on.
Wow.
My God, hang on. See if there's a. There you go, look. Mobile originator, answer call ATA, same thing. Display current configuration, but you've actually got commands from the network. Yeah, look, network registration, operator selection, so you can control which operator you're connecting to.
Wow.
Packet domain here, list of packet domains. That's how you can like start up a socket connection. 3G quality of service profile, blah blah blah. Interact with the SIM card, enter PIN, change password, whatever it is. So everything you can possibly think of. So this also was kind of interesting about it. So you can see, like, make a voice call, hang up a voice call. Like you can make a mobile phone, right?
Yeah.
Like
this is impressive.
So like SMS, phone book.
Would this apply even on the iOS side? Would iOS be talking this to its own hardware? For network connections over the
so this
cellular?
hang on, before I jump into the file transmission, file transmission, and then look there, internet service, set up HTTP server information, update time using HTTP protocol.
Wow.
NTP, TCP IP, there you go. Start a socket service, stop a socket service.
Wow.
HTTPS. So yeah, if you're trying to like extend your IoT to give it kind of internet connectivity, something like these modules are a perfect answer because you don't have to write and have any of this protocol on top of like your Arduino or anything, because you can just run it in the MQTT.
That's
SSL.
This was the worth it right here for me coming on this show today. It's like the type of thing. I just like totally just got something that, oh my gosh, AT commands for Bluetooth even.
Oh yeah, yeah. So your module supports like GNSS is GPS for those that don't understand what GNSS is. Global
navigation
satellite system or something like that. Yeah. So you can actually get the raw NMEA data from the satellites over a serial port from it if you want to like work up something. But anyway, you can control that, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. There you go. So like the full package.
Well, I know what I'm doing for some light reading.
Do you know what's really scary? I used to read a lot of day sheets for fun. Like it was really interesting to read up.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Terrible. I was like 19 or something. I remember.
I don't think there's.
I didn't used to think there's anything wrong with that. I kind of question it now.
My wife thinks that there's something wrong with my head, and so anyway,
it was more about, I think at the time it was like that fascination. I think there's definitely a fascination with when you're a software developer, you work at such a high level a lot of the time. So you're working at that level of application development, and you don't often work at the level near the hardware, right? So you don't really work at drivers or controlling hardware. So that's kind of like a new world to explore. And I think that's the fun thing, right? So having that control when when a lot of us was younger, like we had those Commodore 64s and stuff, which was literally your software running on bare metal. Like you would control the ports raw on the device, right? There was no like, from the application level, you didn't have a stack of, levels of operating system and everything on top of that controlled how your computer and how software works on it, right? And I think that there was just a fundamental difference to how people write software nowadays.
I love a word that you just used there.
Go for it.
A new world to explore. To me, every time I learn something new or I dig into something that I didn't understand before, I go deep dive on something. That's very much what it's like. It's like it's this new place that is foreign and unfamiliar, and things don't quite make sense, but I can sort of relate them back to things that I know, right? And like I think that people wouldn't normally think of that as like explore and scratching the exploration itch, but at the same time it's almost like you're entering into a new domain that you didn't touch before, right? And so that's
which I never really thought about that. That is one of those things, right? When you're working in software, it's such a big beast, such a wide operating thing nowadays. Touches so many different areas. When you're working on something that's like audio or video or something that's like in a different domain to what you're normally working in, it is exploring something new, and it is that kind of, maybe that is like a kind of digital explorers. That's what we should be called now.
It's like an adventure.
We're not developers anymore. We're digital explorers.
Ooh, I like that. That's the new Rockstar developer explorer.
What are you? I'm a digital explorer.
That means I read a lot of blog posts. And
it means I browse the interwebs.
For fun.
You know what? We're heading into an era where browsing the interwebs is like going to be like a foreign thing that only weird people do, because everyone's just going to ask AI. Everyone's just going to ask the AI for it. But
nobody's going to know how to Google anymore. You
mean you typed your query into a search engine? What?
Right.
It's an important skill to be able to try to figure out the keywords that must all appear in the thing you're looking for. So that you would type the right Google search to get with exactly those keywords.
Or you do better. What? You put the negative symbol and say, but not this.
Right.
Yeah. Build up your complex queries. Yeah.
Right. Flutter, but not birds, for example. Yeah, yes, exactly. You add those extra things. I just want to add one more thing. Back when I was like around 10, Dad and I were in the lab a lot, and we had this. We would do everything from Popular Electronics in the early 70s. So we had these digital breadboards that had TTL circuits inside and had an AND gate and an OR gate and knots. And I used to go through the pages of the data specs for what a hex inverter has as a pinout and what NAND gates look like as pinouts. So I have been that nerd. I have not done that recently, but I definitely remember going through that phase.
I still think any software developer can have fun doing that stuff.
Yeah.
I have never in my life wanted to jump off of a call less than I do right now, because this conversation is fantastic and I am having a blast. Yeah. They are not canceling the meeting, so I have to. I am irritated. I have to drop off. But,
yeah. Sorry. All right. So it's just going to be two of us.
See you all later.
Sorry, guys. I will talk to you guys later. I will see you next week. Thanks.
If your meeting's only quick, you can always come back.
Yeah. Yes. I will. If on some miracle this initiative is like a 5-minute meeting, I will be back. So.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Well, we got some questions, so we'll just keep answering going for them here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Arthur Ross asks, coming from React, it feels so hard to do animation in Flutter. Nowadays, we have libraries like Tree.js, Anime.js. Is Flutter ever going to catch up? Have you looked at the pub? There are animations through the wazoo of stuff like that. If you want animations like for processing, they did that whole package on that. If you want animations for like Flutter Animate, which is what G Skinner used for all those great demos. No, there is no end to the animation stuff that is available, and the 3D stuff, and everything is pretty much there that you want. You just haven't you haven't used the right search words, I guess. Yeah, Flutter Animate. That's a great package.
Flutter Animate is the G-Skinner one, which is a Flutter favorite as well. And this has got this you can do all sorts of crazy things with. And there's like animate with effects, or it does have a sort of implicit one, so you can take your widget and say animate, fade, scale. And that's it. Magically, it does that, right? Give it durations. There's lots of ways of building up your effect pipeline, right? So that's one. And then there's animations, which is kind of pre-built. They're kind of like the material design motion spec animations, right? So content transitions and things like this that are already done. Again, you can just chuck into your app; they just work.
And Colley's got a good point there. Use Google to search for Flutter packages, not the search bar in PubDev. The search bar in PubDev is somewhat limited to just direct keyword matching, but Google, of course, has all sorts of synonym matching stuff too. So,
did you notice oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you notice that they actually fixed the search thing? So we were talking about this the other week. So when you search for a particular package, it now says, name match. It now brings up the exact package at the top with name match. Thank you. Like, that was so annoying. That was
like, that was pretty bad. Yeah,
I don't know if it's like just a silly thing, like, because that's the first thing I do. Like, there's no like lookup package with this exact name. So you put it in the search box and find the first one, right? Or you build the URL and pop the name, the package name you want in the URL. But yeah, it's a lot more common to like just chuck it in the search and click on the first one, I think.
Right.
All right.
Let's see.
Let
me jump on to the next one. The next one here. Yes, we got a few more. We got free. I remember there was some live coding done on adding user mentions in a text field by typing an @ but we can't find it in the GIS. Any idea where that was, or maybe something to code again? Now, I just told Free that it was about 3 years ago, but I'm also remembering FlutterCon as last month. So I cannot be relied upon as an authority for time spans.
We can definitely go hunting, and if not, code that up. That is actually something I wanted to do recently in a project, and I was meaning to like dig that up myself. It's quite funny. You get to a certain point of after doing code and posting stuff online that you find your own code when you're asking your own questions online.
Yeah.
Which is another like fun thing as well. The fun thing to happen to yourself.
Right.
Put it in the back burner. We'll keep that one going, and then we'll come back to that free.
Okay. Alrighty.
Some more questions. And then
next one is Madan Kamar again. How can I pre-cache all SVG assets? I remember we did this earlier in the sessions, but I cannot find it now. Can you please share it here? Pre-cache SVGs.
Yes. Yeah. So I can definitely find you. Actually, we do that in the WoW shopping app. So there should be a code snippet you can just copy out of that. Let me pop a link into the chat. That was a while ago. I'm pretty sure it's in there.
Everything's a while ago. We've been doing this for a while.
When we've been talking about Hayes modem commands. Come on, we're ancient.
Right. I remember when it pulse dialed because I didn't put the tone in there, and it was like going.
What's I remember pulse dialing. Pulse dialing was very common over here as well. So I will send you. I'll bring this up on stream, but I also will send you this code snippet in the chat because it's a lot easier to bring up. So yeah, this is the WoW shopping app. So what I did is an extension on, in this case, on SVG picture, which says pre-cache, and then it just puts it in the cache. I guess this is the way to do it back then, whenever it was, and then simply you can make a function in this case a static function on my home screen. So I can pre-cache my assets before they, before the screen loads, and then I call this function as part of the splash screen process or the process in which the app starts up, and that way there's no like jumping around of UI. It just loads up when the app loads. But what was a while ago? Hang on. Yeah, well, we got a homepage pre-cache. Yeah, when the app starts up, main screen pre-cache images. Loading of the app, whatever it's doing. But yeah, basically just saying do this when it loads up. So I'll ping this a link to this bit of code, I guess, and then you can kind of check it out or hunt it down. But yeah, pop it in the chat. Okay, that should be in the chat.
Alrighty. Next question from Steph. Hi, Steph. Steph Patterson. Which is she's just over that way a little bit. I think if she's home, she's over that way. All right. Hello, Steph. Let's see. Where's the question? Right. In the app you're working on in live coding, could you show the Share Plus package? Cool. What app? Which one of the apps are you talking about? Yeah, I can add that for the live coding part. I can hold on to that and just come back to
it. Free. You want to come on the show? You can come on the show if you want. By the way, if we're going to get you in live coding, if you're not, if you want.
So this one, do you want me to set this?
Yeah, I mean, what we can have a look at that. I mean,
okay,
it's pretty straightforward. I think we can set that out.
Okay, Madan Kumar asks another question. Asked in the last session, the bottom sheet height is dynamic. Not bottom sheets again. Yeah. Can we do a show without bottom sheets? Can we just forbid that at the top of the show?
Asked in the last session, but the problem I have is that snap at 2. Even when the user tries to close it, it doesn't fully close. It should settle at this snap size. Even when the user tries to close it, it doesn't fully close. But the problem is I have a snap at 0.2. Can you want to post a code snippet? Maybe make like a little code snip up of your thing and again post a hash from a gist, and then we can look it up. It's really hard to kind of like look at your problem without having some more context. And then obviously we don't want to spend half the show writing up a sample application just to answer maybe a few lines of code or to explain a simple principle. So see if you can do a code snippet and we can get that answered for you. Probably won't be this show, but next one.
And
or post your question maybe with a code snippet on something like Stack Overflow or one of the Discords or something like that, and you'll get an answer from someone, I'm sure. But yeah, you need to put together a little code snippet, otherwise you're not going to get an answer from anyone because it's such a complex question.
Yeah, that's a little vague too, just a little vague. All right, and two-parter from Train of Thought. I have 2 interactive widgets and a common app bar. I want to overlay a new screen on top of the right widget, partially covering the app bar while keeping the left widget alive. Is this possible? And the second part.
Hold.
Okay.
Hang on. I have two interactive widgets, okay, and a common app bar. So you got 2 of them, okay. I want to overlay a new screen on top of the right widget, partially covering the app bar, was keeping the left widget active. Okay, so the thing just stick a stack on top, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And then you can use like the layer follower, layer whatever it is. There's a
actually it'd be nice if Train of Thought actually shared what your solution was, so we don't keep being wondering.
But the point here is
we haven't figured it out.
The problem you've got is that when you start, so if you're trying to can you go back to the actual question, trying to overlay on something on top, the question is how are you overlaying, right? So if you use like a navigation push, then now it's got 2 different focus nodes for the root of the route, the bottom of the route, the top level of the route, whatever. The point here is that then that's going to take focus away from the windows on the screen. So what you really want to do is you want to rebuild the widget tree, put something on top, but that's just done in the same kind of wrapping widget that wraps it, right? And then you can command it to do that when you press a button and it tells it to start showing and hiding, right, or whatever. But it's a case of doing that, right? Obviously, and then also making sure that you can actually wrap that new widget in a focus widget with the autofocus set to false, so it doesn't still focus if there is an input widget in there. So you can also do that. Because what you don't want to do is show, maybe I'm assuming your case, what you're saying is you want to show something on the right-hand side and then have it take the focus.
The second part of that question was this, which is Nest Navigator causes issues due to the shared app bar. So, but if he says he solved it,
I mean, it sounds to me like you might want to use Nest Navigator, to be honest. But again,
let's see here. Okay, next question. Right there. Mohammed Omar says, I am adding face recognition to an attendance app using a 20 MB TF Lite model, but my release size build jumped from 30 meg to 140 meg. Really? Or is that all the parts put together? Because that's the thing. Is there a lighter or better way to handle face recognition?
So
What's gonna make
there's
it?
not. Okay, we literally went through this question early on the show,
Yeah.
so I'm going to make it a light answer. It's included the 20 meg TF Lite model and the 20 meg Lite TensorFlow Lite processing code for each processing platform you're on, right? So an APK is just a fat APK. It includes all of this, not what a user downloads to their device. What you probably want to do is build a bundle. It's called an app bundle instead. So when you do Flutter build, there's options build like Android, iOS, and there's an app bundle that builds a different type of a file that you upload to the Play Store. And if you upload even your big 140 meg to the Play Store, look at what it says. When you go to in the Play Store to the APK Analyzer Explorer, whatever it is, you click on the version code from your current release, it will take you there. And you'll see there, it shows you what is downloaded to the person's device. It'll be like 20 meg. It won't be 140 meg, right? So definitely take a look at that.
That was the last question. Now we're back to live coding, I guess.
Cool. Okay. Let's take 5. Is that cool? And then we'll come back in just a moment. I'll put a banner up for a second. Should I? Unless you want to tap dance for a second, Brandon.
I'm not tap dancing. I'm in bare feet, so there wouldn't be any sounds. It'd be just sounds of skin slapping against wood, which is not really fun.
Yeah, let me just put something up for a second, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
Great.
Well, I don't feel like that's the right one. There we go. Do that. Yeah. Where's the overlay? I've lost all the buttons. We'll be back in just a minute. Bing, we're back. It'll be quick. Right, let's get things going. Just my coding.
Yes, I have the two things I've saved, so we can work starting from those. So there was the @sign thing. If we can figure out where the @sign thing is,
I need to go
That's
hunting
one.
for that one.
and then the other one was the live coding showing Share Plus.
So let's try and do both. I don't see any reason why not.
Sure.
I just need to
We're still pretty early.
try and dig out an
Amazingly
old.
enough.
I think I had an old test project somewhere. Let me just find it. Where did they go?
Oh, we've also got more questions if you want to take another question.
Go chuck the questions in. Let's go whilst I'm doing this. Let's try.
Okay. So Madan Kumar, who's asked a few questions today. Currently, I'm manually calculating custom shapes from Figma and creating them using Canvas. Any websites or suggestions to speed this up?
Say that again.
Currently, manually calculating custom shapes from Figma and creating them using Canvas. Any websites or suggestions to speed this up? I know there are MCPs that can read Figma and generate like.
Yeah, I mean, like you can there's APIs, but I think the question here is what you're trying to speed up, like the rendering of it, the process of you doing it. Is it you trying to stop having to do it manually, so you want to automate the process? So maybe just clarify. I'm trying to automate this thing I'm trying to do, right?
Yeah.
The websites. I mean, yeah, speed up is. I mean, do you mean speed up doing the manual process, or do you mean like? Because the thing is, I think I know what you're talking about, and I've actually had the same problem. And all you need to do is export as SVG. And the SVG data is something you can just pass into Canvas commands, which is something I've done. That's actually a package on pub for exactly that. So if you want, I can direct you to that.
Here's a follow-up to it. The process of doing this is taking more time.
Yeah, I think you need to understand what you're doing. I mean, like you either need to automate by coding the process so it happens for you, right? Or was this someone else? Can you use Flutter shape?
Yes, Verde. Yeah, Verde is saying Flutter shape maker, whatever that is.
Flutter shape maker generates a custom paint from an SVG. Is that a website? Flutter shape maker?
Be cool.
There's actually there's a website, Flutter shape maker, apparently.
Huh. Somebody is secretly collecting shapes from everybody. Are you doing it for free?
So there's I mean, I don't know particularly about that Flutter shape maker, but I've actually done it with packages on pub. So the official SV, well, it is official now, I guess, the Flutter SVG package. I mean, I'll show you this in a second, actually. Yeah, so the Flutter SVG package. This is going to take me a second here. Damn. Sorry.
I've often wondered if those free sites actually collect data all the time and they're just not telling you, and that's why they set up their site. Like these PDF manipulator programs and things like that, where you upload your PDF and it does something like condense it or something. I'm thinking, what's just to stop them from just because you're going to get so much stuff. Idiots are going to be uploading random stuff, and they're all going to be gathering all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I
suppose it's just like my Google searches. Yes, I know. They know lots about me because of the things I look for.
Okay. What were we doing? We were doing.
You mean like what's the
live
question?
coding and
Yeah,
answer this particular question. Oh,
yes.
mastering custom Sophia Ray, FlutterCon EU. Oh, there you go. So maybe watch that as well. That might help. Thank you,
Cool.
Andy. Yeah. So this is the package that I was. I got to share my screen anyway. Share screen. Let's go. Yeah. So path passing. So this was written by Dan Field, who's no longer with us. Sadly, he was one of the Flutter team members. He passed away not too long ago, but yeah, in 2024. But he contributed quite a lot, and one of these is this path passing package. And if you look at the example, it'll show you a very similar thing to what you want to do. Path printer. And so what you can do with this example here is you can take your path data that you would have got from your SVG, pop it into, in this case, this function here, write SVG path, whatever it is, to path. And then what it's going to do is it will call these functions in the path proxy, like close, cubic 2, line 2. And these are just your commands that you would call on Canvas. And you can output Dart code. Ta-da. And that's it, really. And that's what I did before. And I would make a pipeline up, a little script, a Dart script, which you would pump your SVG file into, it would pass out the data and chuck it through this and output SVG commands, Canvas commands, a little function that runs Canvas commands. And you can even have it run it to a file into your project, you know. So yeah, that's what I'd say, do that. If you're trying to like automate it, that is, rather than having, and that means you have no manual intervention whatsoever, right? So there you go. Check that one out. Right. Let me just get this in a memento. Get this set up. And then we'll jump on some live code.
Cool.
Wow. Wow. So it was the @ passing, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I'll give you the question for that again here.
Let's see.
It feels like it was about 3 years ago. I'm trying to remember when I had the client that needed that for their project, and I brought it in as a question for you just to see how well you would do it.
Well, I can't find it. We'll just do it again.
Yeah.
Let me increase my font size here for everyone. I was fiddling around with stuff.
Sure.
3,000 font size. No, I don't think so.
Let's see that pixel again. Scroll pixels. Oh, and I'll turn off the Q banner because we're sort of past that here. We need more room on the screen. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Q banner's gone. Oh, Steph has a part 2. Hold on, let me see what she's asking here. Here, Steph, in a follow-up to her share question, says, Share Plus, how to share an image displayed on the screen, not from a photo library. I think you have to capture it first.
Well, I mean, we'll have a look at that.
Yeah. Anyway,
right.
Do that.
Guess this will work. Let's find out. All right. Let's see what's going to happen. What can possibly go wrong? There we go.
I know.
Oh, so I've opened up. So I started this test app too, because my original test app, which was just like a repo that had all the demos I've ever made in it, it got pretty big and pretty messy and like so it got a bit crazy. So we're getting red things here because I haven't updated this in look. Dart 212.
Whoa.
a while ago. So yeah, this was so rather than updating it though, what we could do is try and find that should be in here. I just didn't have it. None of these are dated or anything like that. So that's one of the reasons why I switched to the new model of let's go date everything and we can track things down a bit better. So we got like 2003, 2014, you know. The idea is to publish them eventually. But anyway, let's go back to here and see if we can find it's gotta be in here somewhere. Right. What would be the thing? It was @ sign, right? I mean, that's not helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quote mark @ sign. Lexa. Ah. No, that's not helpful either.
Darn it. Sounded close though. Sounded like a chance.
Mention. Nope. Let's try the other one. Mention. I mean, I really say that. I need to search this folder. Oh, name tagging. This is it. Found it.
Yay.
That was
good naming. Good naming.
Okay. All right. So let's have a quick look at this.
Yes. I recognize that regex.
Okay. Home widget, controller, text with names, editing controller. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Text with names, fill with names. Simon Randall Scott. Yeah. On request names, we return these possible names. Yeah. Build text span. So this can build up that span with the @ stuff highlighted in blue. Yeah. And so this is because at the moment we're using like an overlay stuff here with our own custom render boxes. We don't have to do any of this anymore. It's like built in using a portal widget. So we can actually look, overlay portal. Huh.
So this could take a rewrite.
Maybe there's a reason for doing it like we did local to global.
I think I had that same question while you were coding it, and you said, no, this will work, and you just went ahead anyway. Sounds like you, so that sounds probably like something like that. I already got it done this way.
Overlay entry. Blah, 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 blah. All right. I mean, look, let's well, this should work, right? And it's pretty simple code. So let's run it and see what happens. Okay, we can get rid of that old one here. And then let's run this up and see what happens.
Taggable instead of package
on device. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. So this should mean that we type in the field and it will automatically try and fill out Randall, your name, my name, or Scott's name. I would guess. I mean, I did write it, but it was a while ago.
There's no such thing as bit right.
I remember writing. I remember writing code.
Yeah.
And then having to dig it back up, and it was like 10 years old. And actually, like, I remembering writing the code and like writing the layout of the structure of the code and things like that. So it's very weird. Like, and but I can also look at some other code and be like, no idea. So, it's just building. Let's see what we get to.
It might depend on the number of aha moments you had. So all the aha moments stick in your brain, and you go, "That's
how I came up with it." I think it's also maybe the amount of time you spend on a bit of code. Because if you spend like, I don't know, like a good 10 hours on a single bit of code, you kind of like you remember that code, right? Like, not like, I think I don't. That's interesting. Oh, that's an interesting point. Would you even get those experiences anymore with AI because you're not writing the code, right? Like the AI is writing it, so it's all fleeting. You're never going to get that experience.
It's a different relationship because, again, when I'm doing AI assisted coding, I'm reviewing all the tests all the time, so I know what the code must look like
Well,
that
yeah,
implements
but
those steps.
what I'm trying to say is you don't remember like physically
Right. I don't
writing
have
like
I don't have tactile memory. I don't have tactile
Yeah.
memory of typing that code. I only have visual memory, which for me is
Here we
horrible
go.
actually.
Hello
Oh,
at Randall.
look at that. Just
Hang on,
auto
Randall.
click on that. There we go. Yeah. Wow. The code still runs.
My name is at Iron. Hang on.
Yay.
Hey.
Wonderful.
Is that what you were looking for?
I would hope so.
Let's dump it up online and then everyone can get it.
Yeah, is that who was it that was asking
It's
for that?
definitely I mean it works. There's definitely
Oh, it
things
was
that
free.
we definitely improve with this. So
And sadly, free is now gone, so we just missed him.
that's all right. He'll see the
Your
later.
answer free. It'll be on
Send me a
the video.
But I think this is a
Either way.
good starting point. I mean, this is the thing. I love the way you're talking about like a package for this, right? But like you are talking about minimal number of lines of code here, like really minimal. And it don't even have to be like that much more complicated than this. I mean, this is like a whole example. I mean, the actual stuff. I mean, 70 lines of this is just the example. The rest of it is the actual implementation. And it's not like, yeah, it's not rocket science. So this, I think I know why we did the at stuff now is because we needed to reference the cursor position here to get to know where to pop up the box, right?
You
So
can
I
do
think
that with overlay though, right?
Yeah, but then we're getting the end of the cursor as our position, and then we need to then position that rather than using a wrapping widget because a widget would wrap the whole field, right?
Right. Yep.
So that's the difference. But
Cool.
yeah, I mean, people are saying, "Wow!" I mean, is this that impressive? I don't know.
I think it was that it was still running. I think that it ran. I think they're wowing at the ran part.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
still,
good point. Yeah, that could be possible.
yeah.
I actually just want to improve this. Like I'm pressing at and it drops down. But if we continue typing, I feel like it should filter the list, and it doesn't.
Yeah, that'd be cool. If you want to tackle that.
Shall we tackle that?
And switch it all over to using signals.
Say again?
Switch it all over to using signals at the same time.
Can you make the decision appear above the text field? Yeah, just change it to above the text field.
Yes.
So look, this is it here. Look, so I'm calculating the bottom left of the cursor. So I'm getting the position for the caret at the current text position, which will give me the caret is this thing here, right? The caret, however you want to pronounce it, right? And I'm getting that box, and then we're taking the bottom left of that box as our x coordinate, right? So you can actually set that as the top left, and then when it comes to the overlay position, you're positioning based on the bottom left. So if I change this to bottom here, left bottom, right? You can also change the alignment. There's a bunch of things you can do that a lot of different ways, right? But we'll say bottom left, and then up here, this would be the top left of the rectangle. And now what's going to happen is if I type in here, he says, and then it goes off. Look, I messed it up. I've messed it up. Top left. Hang on, rect. It's your local coordinate. Yeah, that's correct. Top left. Relative to that. That is correct. Do we do something else with position? See, this is why you don't live code, everyone.
And yet you do it week for week.
Well, we can definitely work this one out, but I honestly can't be bothered.
Yeah, it was working in the way it made sense.
Right, let's put it back to where I want, because I also want to do one thing here, which was and then like at S should list both Simon and Scott right now in this instance. So let's see if we do filtering on this. So as the text changes, we look at the offset and we update the overlay position. And if it's not showing, then we show it. And here's the problem. If we then say we want if it was showing, then hide. And that's because we didn't return early. So if this was an else, so if the selection is collapsed, so really we only want to hide it when our cursor is not adjacent to an @ sign with some letters on it, right? Not necessarily the @ sign directly. And then that's what the problem is here. We're looking one offset back for an @ sign. Oh, look, here you go. Fix me. Rather than detecting a prefix @ I didn't even read it. Let's detect the word starting with it to fix the @ along with @ Yeah, so this just said that. So in this situation, we need to scan back from where we are at the moment in the string back. So what we let me explain what we got here. So selection is collapsed is when you don't have. So if I select some text, hang on. Interesting. I may have messed up my text selection. Yes, I did. Sorry. That's an interesting one. So what's happened here is with composing, basically we overwrite the build text span of our text editor controller, and in doing so, that's how it highlights the text. It's a text span. So we've lost our highlighting. So in here's how it does the highlighting, right? If your composer region is out of range, blah, 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 composing style. So there we go. So and then you got bit before the area you're composing, the bit you're composing, the bit after. That's interesting because, of course, if I select something over here, I still need to have the. It is actually slightly harder to do that. I don't know if I can be bothered. There is a way of doing that, which involves doing a tree. I really can't be bothered. Right. It sounds rude of me saying that, honestly. It's just long. I don't really want to deal with it right now.
Turn all your strings into regexes and then merge the regexes.
Oh, you're an evil man.
Oh, I'm just good with regexes.
Yeah, so I really want to do that now. Oh, no, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. All right, so let's put a fix me in there for that, though, so we can identify that there's an issue there that needs to be resolved. Fix me. Since we are overriding we need to handle the composing range ourselves. But this composing region might conflict. Why are you highlighting that? Weird. Conflict. The @ region. This. I don't know why I'm getting these highlights. I must have some weird highlighting mark attribute. I think I've got some weird
Weird theme.
Something in my. Can I be bothered? No, I can't be bothered. It's fine. One of my regexes is obviously wrong. Anyway.
Yeah.
Afterword region. What? Vomit afterword region, yeah. Composer region, might conflict. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we can definitely like look at something like that if you're interested. I want to rather do this. So let's So what we know here is it's a collapsed region. It's basically when the start and the end of the selection is at the same point, which gives you the cursor. So the reason why you get flashing cursor is because the start and the end of the selection is at the same point. Okay, so that's what collapse does. If you look in here, it's just checking is start equal to end, right? So if it's collapsed, then we're ready to do our. We can then look at to see is there a place we're editing, right? So as soon as the cursor goes to one after, that's our detection. So in this case, we get our base offset. We're going -1 here, but rather than just going to -1, what we want to do is go for 4 and do a for loop. And we want to start at offset. Oh, look at that. It's close. It's close. We actually have characters. This is what I'm looking for. It's the character package. I'm trying to remember now. It's been a while. Characters package. Yeah. So there's a characters package, and this allows you to like look at code points and other things in various different ways. I think this has a nice detection for white space. It's been a while. Characters at. Maybe I'm thinking of a different. Well, maybe I'm thinking of something else then. I was pretty sure it was this package that gave us the thing I'm thinking of. But string before, string after. Now, move back until. Yeah, there's a lot of helpful functions for doing this kind of stuff, but I think we'll do it the stupid way right now. Let's do a fix me here. This should match all Unicode white space. Not just the ASCII one, right? But that'll do for now. Okay, so we're going offset -1. Why have we got +1? We don't care about +1, do we? Oh, I to I +1, yeah, of course, yeah. And then if it's not showing, then we show it, return. Yeah, otherwise we hide it. Yeah, so this should be an extension of what we had before. It does everything we want. Let's restart and see if it did it. Hi at, there you go. Look, it stays highlighted until we do space. Now what we can do with that is essentially want to match that substring and then fire it over to the overlay controller. So our overlay controller is showing, so this is about portal control. So we need a way of actually communicating with the content in our pop-up. So let's have a quick look. And how do we actually handle that? I have no idea. So on text change, we get to a point that said update overlay position. Okay, so this is how we're kind of pushing the position over, but that's not enough, right? We want to position a hint and a position and a hint. So let's update our where is it? Update our instead of having an offset as an overlay position, which says overlay metadata. I don't really want. That's not really what I want. Overlay parameters. And we'll make a quick class. Move this in a second. So we say class overlay parameters. Yeah, list of names.
Madonna's apparently taken that code and ran it through AI and fixed it. If you want to look at his gist.
Okay.
It's sort of a John Henry.
That's not the name of the game. We're trying to learn. Trying to learn.
I know.
Um,
I know. Go ahead, John
uh,
Henry. Keep working against that steam drill.
we'll take a look at that in a minute, actually. But
Yeah. Okay.
right. So I want something like this. I guess the thing here is when I pass across, we had like text with names on names requested. I don't even remember what I even call this. Okay, so when we build it, that's not a good time to do it, is it? That's a bad time to do that, Simon. So, wow. Yeah, we kind of want to. It was a post frame callback. Yeah. Well. All right, we'll come back to that in a second, right? I'm just debating if we want that in the parameters. That's all. Just like so, have it so that when we get the text change, that's actually probably better, right? So sorry, let me just explain my thinking here. At the moment, we build the names requested based on the floating context, which is obviously incorrect right now. What we actually want to do is build that based on the match of text that's in here, which is what update overlay position can do. So if I take this back to what I was doing here, and we have a list of names, thank you, AI. It's about our update overlay position, not just doing the position, but update overlay parameters. And now we get our text position, and this is overlay parameters or whatever we were calling it. Let's get rid of that. Right. So now the point here would be that you could then do get the names, and then we base this as off a hint. So this would be our let's say hint coming in. Cool. And then let's update our function to take a hint. Overlay parameters is now our new data. This is going to start off with a blank overlay parameters, for want of a better word. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just do dot empty. Perfect. Right. Cool. And let's follow this down. So when we create our overlay parameters, we want to create it with our position and names. All right. So by updating this value, it's going to rebuild the UI in here. And then what we're going to get in here is an overlay parameters. And we can now say parameters dot position. And the names are also going to be returned inside that. So now we're only going to change those parameters as the text in the input field changes. All right, so now we've done that. We just need to supply the hint and filter on it. So in here, this is going to be text.substring I +1. So it's after the @ sign to offset -1, because no, actually that's wrong. Should just be offset, right? Yeah, I'll go back one, so that should be fine. Right, let's see if we're good there. So that's going to pass over some text. Let's dump out on here. It's a bit of a debug. Requesting, requesting names for hint. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, was the code big enough? The code on the screen may have been too small. Apologies. Alrighty then. Now all we need to do is change our function up here. Take that hint. And then, actually, we can just do that, can't we? Get rid of it from down there. So what we want to do in our example is say, if hint is empty, then we can return the full list. So we can say, let's just do final names equals this. Oh, what did that have in there? Hang on. Oh, come on. Oh, that's scary. Train of thought. You made your way into it.
How did they get all out of those tapes in there? That's weird.
Apparently, it's a Dylan as well.
Where did you get
who else can we add? Would it suggest anyone else? Well done. There you go.
Yes.
Sorry. Right. Let's do so we got Steve. We need a name starting with like another name starting with T. Tom. Tom.
Tom.
Okay, we got Steve, and we'll put a Scott in there as well.
Sure.
It's because in the code base, Train of Thought's name has been mentioned before. So probably some previous thing he submitted, right? Yeah. Yeah, put some other M's. Why not? I can leave out your last names if you want. That's right. Cool. So
Train of thought.
If it's empty, then we're just going to return all the names. Otherwise, we want to filter it. And look at that. Thanks, AI.
Yes. AI is going to take our jobs.
It's close, but no cigar. So it contains hint. We could do starts with in this case, I think is probably more appropriate.
So far, it's only coming up to the junior devs. Junior devs, you should be worried. You should become senior devs quick.
I made a boo-boo. Out of range. Maybe I did need it on this one.
Jeez.
It's exclusive on the right hand side, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably right. Let's try that again. Okay, didn't crash. Hi at. There we go. We got all the different names. S. Hey, look.
Ooh. But now it should auto accept it if I hit a return there. Get to one name.
We could do, right? At the moment, we don't like link up the field. We have to tap on it, but no harm in like doing that, right? Like having like tab or thing on a mobile, you're kind of like tapping, right? Well, that's an interesting one as well. We do the replace, and it's based off of the current offset. So we need to, we're doing a text range of collapsed. So we actually need. We could control the rather than being like, since it's not as it's editing, we're doing this. We could probably inject the range that we actually located it on into. Yeah, we can replace the range into our parameters. That makes sense. So yeah, I guess it does. So text, then we say I+1 offset and have a start and end. And then let's update out. Whoops, update overlay parameters to have a start and end. Sure. It knows what I'm thinking. It's black magic.
It's just autocomplete. It's just Markov chains made longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Markov
now,
chains
when we go to insert our range, and here we can say text range. Right, should we see what happens? It should hi at Randall, and that should now. Yay. Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't inject a space, does it? So we actually need
space ordering.
Randall. This is Simon.
Yes.
Yeah. And I go back. You can then change it, right? Yes.
Steve. Yeah.
Steve.
Let's
Let's try
ship it.
Train of thought. Ah.
Trot.
Yeah, because it's got spaces, right? Which is fair enough. I mean, we should probably filter the hints coming back can't have spaces, right? That should be have a throw. Here you go. And thought. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, works. Dismiss the keyboard. Probably should dismiss when keyboard disappears too. Oh, yeah. It's so yeah, when the field loses focus effectively. So if I click, if we see, it's kind of different. Yeah. I suppose it doesn't actually lose focus. All right. Let's go back. Okay. Well, we can get rid of that output, debug output. And then what was the thing I just said? We want to dismiss it, right? Yeah. I mean, you can just do that quite simply. So we've actually got a focus. We have a focus node that we're using. So when we build our focus node, we can add ourselves as a listener on focus changed. If our focus node doesn't have focus anymore, IO overlay controller. Let's see what happens. Hi, Randall, and if I click it, and that's because I selected it, and train of thought. And if I don't have any way of selecting off the thing, but if I press, I guess if I dismiss the keyboard. Oh, yeah, sorry, no, what was I thinking about? Okay, so this is up on the screen, and if I dismiss the keyboard, it's still got focus. It's still there. It's still there. So the way you'd actually fix this and do this separately is one of using the text input. There's actually a whole separate thing on that. You can do a text input client, and you don't use a text editing field at all. You don't need one. I think in this case, what I'd rather do is have a what's it called? Not on tap outside. Yeah. So where's my text field? On tap outside. Yeah, tap outside. Try to remember what it is now. Oh, you get the intent. Okay. Yeah, so we should just be able to dismiss the. Yeah, here we go. Okay, here, look. If this is null, the tap outside intent will be invoked. In default implementation, focus on focus will be called on focus node for this text field when a pointed down event is received on another part of the UI. However, not on focus as a result of a mobile application touch events, which does not include mouse clicks from other platforms. And a pointed down event is received on another part of the UI. To change this behavior, a callback may be set here, or anyone sets may be overridden. Okay, which is what I'm doing. Okay, so let's go back to here and then do. Don't really care about the parameter. I'm just going to say focus node unfocus. And let's see what happens. So at, and then, well, yeah, it loses focus. There you go. So when it loses focus, we saw that it lost its sync position, right?
Yeah.
Because we're only changing position when the text changes. So the correct way of actually handling that is actually what I was going to suggest when I was in the chat before we found this. So let's go fix this. It should be automatic, to be honest. We might be able to get away with it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So there's a widget called composited transform target and follower. So these are the two magical things that you need. So composite transform target is the thing that you want to follow. So in this case, we're going to wrap this around our text field to around here. We'll wrap it around. Then we leave the port there. We'll wrap it around our text decorator. So this is the target. And the one thing it needs is what's called a layer link. This is how you link the two widgets together. So we'll make one of these up here. It's basically like a key that the two widgets use to define each other. And then a follower widget, which we wrap around what we want to follow our. And now if we jump down all the way down here, we can probably get away with popping that in here instead. And then put the layer link on it.
Imagine the two widgets doing a game of Marco Polo. Marco
Polo. Yeah, basically.
Marco Polo.
The key here is also like we talked about where we want like the widget to be overlaid, and we're talking about the alignment earlier. Someone mentioned it. Yeah. That was also handled for you by this. This also actually means that all our positional stuff now becomes relative to.
Yeah.
We still need to do this. We're actually saying that, but it's going to be relative to a different part of the UI now. So we'll work that out in a second. All right. Hi at, and here we go. Ooh, something broke. Render list must be unlimited space on its main axis. Yeah. So this is intrinsic width. The layer link doesn't have defined height. So we're probably going to need to give it a constrained box with some sort of fixed height. It's more about the height than the width. So we'll say we're going to be really dodgy here. and just do this for a second, and we'll come back and figure out maybe a better way of doing this. But max width, sidebar width, max height, sidebar height. No, not exactly correct, but let's try that again. Nope. What went wrong? Render box was not laid out. Render follow a layer. Interesting. I wonder if this is the overlay portal stuff coming into effect now. What is overlay portal? I forget. Oh, hey a minute. What does it say here? It literally just said you can use this. Hang on a minute. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. Paint order. Yep. It literally does say that composite transform follower, which can be used to position the overlay child in relation to a linked composite transform target. Restart. It's I'll restart the app here. Hi, this is at again. It's a problem with its main axis. I wonder if the hang on. Let's do this. Let's force it to a certain size. Let's see what happens. Blimey. Okay, I think there's a why are we losing our constraints? Wait a minute. Hang a minute. This body. Sorry, everyone. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. We could probably just get rid of this by just I mean, don't actually need that. I'm going to just do a column. Okay, that worked. Okay. Interesting enough, it's obviously a lot larger in size. So let's set our minimum height to 0. Do we get interesting? So intrinsic. Wait. Something just occurred to me. Hang on. Bear with me 1 second. I think something just occurred to me. Yes. Okay. It's to do with the way the composite layers work. They get given the size of the screen as the entire layer size. Obviously not correct. So we have a max height should be fine. Right. Better remove that. And in the column, that's why the column's main axis needs to be set to min. In fact, now we've done that, we should, in theory, be able to change it back to a, what was it, list body? So look. Nope, apparently not. Back to the column. Not that it makes that any big difference. Right, let's try that again. Oh, is that the... Okay, that's better. Okay, so alignment is now aligned to the top left of our box, which is what I was expecting, and our sizes are correct. So let's figure out how we want to realign that. So if we look at our layer link, it lets us provide a offset. And our offset is going to be provided by our parameters. Why does that pass? Somewhere off the screen, probably. Yeah, it's off the bottom of the screen down here. Because we're doing it relative to the layer. And when we get our position, we need it relative to the editable text. So we don't actually need to do local to global. The local coordinate of the bottom left is going to be correct in this case. So we'll use that as our position. Let's do that. And actually, no, I suppose we... No, it should be... No, that's correct. That's correct. So let's simplify. So, correct. Right. Okay. So now we're getting our correct rectangle. Okay. We're close. We're getting there. It's not the correct rectangle though. Let's pop that back. I was thinking the zero offset's not. It's the decoration around it that's providing an offset. So this editable text key is not the box that we actually want, I don't think. Where's our... Yeah, so this key needs to be on the... I mean, why do we have it on here? So just to get the relative... Okay, so that gets us a render editable so we can get the thing. So we actually need another key on the decoration. So key input decoration key, decorator key. Sure. And then we'll use that in our finding the box and then getting the relative position. So we basically want to get be this context. I'll do. Let's go. We don't care that when it's just a widget that has a key. Who cares type? All right, so now we've got our overlay position. Let's pop that in there. Try again. Hey, there we go. Back to where the right position is. Randall. Cool. So someone earlier was asking about, what was it? It was, oh, look at that. That's interesting. I think we're dismissing it. So if I select Randall, it's not filling it in.
Oh, no, yeah.
Is that our tap? I think that's the tap outside unfocusing. So the tap outside unfocusing before it gets there. Yeah. No, in fact, that is exactly what the problem is, and I can fix it. Okay, so let me. This is the thing that people. So this is what the whole tap outside and tap regions are for. So you have this tap region, and you'll see you've got a text field tap region. All this is a tap region that has its group ID set to editable text, right? But you can wrap any widget in this, and if you tap on it, it doesn't consider it a tap outside. So in this case, we can actually wrap our material widget for our UI in a text field tap region, and it will consider it it should consider it. Certainly will. It should consider this part of the text field now. There you go. Problem solved. So if you have the kind of focusy problems with like you try and deal with text fields, that's literally how you do it. Yeah. So this sorts out the tap outside to lose focus whilst also maintaining the ability to tap on stuff outside to do actions with the text field. So this is what you would do if you had like icons on your text field, your own custom buttons to do things, right? You need to wrap them in this text field tap region to let the system know that these are considered part of the text field. And then there's also a tap region that you can wrap around all that group of widgets as well. It's like a focus rectangle, think of it like that. Anyways, right. So we've done searching on the words, and we've improved this a little bit. The list is currently not accounting for the keyboard. So let me just briefly do that. So a couple of ways we can do that. But we're going to see if we can do a stupid way of doing it. Let's see if we can wrap this in a safe area. Will I just do the view panning? I forget, or will it do the keyboard? No, that's not scrolling. So it was also doing the top, which I don't want it to do. All right. So what we want to do, and we actually did this before, but we're just going to get the view insets and then apply that as a padding. There's various different ways of doing that. I'm doing it here. And I only care about the bottom. So there you go. Okay, still not scrolling. What went wrong with this picture? Oh, it would help if our column was actually in a scrolling container, right? Yeah. So where's the material? It's extending out. I guess we got things. Okay, so let's wrap this in a single child scroll view and see what happens. I think this is going to fail because our intrinsics can't pass the scroll boundary. I can't remember though, so we're going to find out. Let's restart to make sure it's fresh. No, messed up. All right, we want this to scroll. Well, scroll. Minimum height stretch. There is bounds on it. Definitely have a minimum. Let's just validate our insets are correct. I guess we can work out the... No, there's 0. Okay, well, there's your problem right there then. So somewhere... maybe the view insets for this context... I can't see how they would be 0. Edge inset 0. I mean, I don't think we're removing them anywhere. I mean, we can account for them further up in our hierarchy, sure, but let's have a quick look. Oh, is this scaffold doing some nonsense? wait, hang a minute, scaffold is down to here. Here's the center. It already is accounting for it on the outside. So we're basically, what's happening here is the scaffold is removing the resize to void bottom inset is basically set to true by default. If we turn this off, it's going to pass through the inset boundary and inset value, right? But now it doesn't resize. So now if I type hi at, now I get my inset height of 272. We want our cake and eat it. We want it to resize it, but also have that value further down. So there is ways to do that. So if we go back down to the way we're trying to get it, in this case, where is it? Where's that context? Here it is. What we're going to do, instead of doing media query view insets of, there's no like root, I don't think, in here, like root 1, which is a shame. Maybe we should think about that. So we can do media query data dot from view dot of context. And what we're doing there is essentially saying, get me build up the what would be the media query. We're not registered to listen to any media queries. If it changes, it doesn't get rebuilt. But what this does do is say, give me those view insets, right? So now, if I do this again, it's centered. Let's say hi at Randall, right? And that works. And now we have our height of 272. Interesting enough, it should be padding it, and I would assume inserting it, but it's not. So I think this kind of comes into two problems now. What's actually happening right now is the limits that are being passed down are not accounting for the position of where it is on the screen. Oh, this is annoying. Yeah, okay. Hang on, why is that? Is that this happened since the single child scroll? No, oh yeah, because I put the padding on the inside. Yeah, no, that's the padding. What's happening right now is I put padding on here, right? And this view inset is coming off, and it is doing it. But because let's say the floating panel was at the top left of the screen, it's moved down, we need to account for the top offset of that floating panel in the height of what we're trying to remove off the bottom. We almost want to change the way this is anchored. See, we're kind of like between a rock and a hard place at the moment. I think let's wrap this in a placeholder to see where we're at. Yes. So you can see the placeholder is the size of the screen moved down, basically. So the line top left is what. That's how a line top left is working. It makes a panel sign the same size as the way we were doing it before without layer link is good and bad. So the layer link does this for us, right? So the keyboard moves up or whatever else, it moves the panel for us and keeps it in working for us, right? Kind of want to limit the height of what's in here. And the only way I can think of doing that is to just create another, it'll be a single child, custom single child widget. Because then what you're doing is basically specifying the constraints that are being passed down. Oh, hang a minute. Did that work?
Just do the whole thing inside Boxy. Just punt.
That wouldn't work inside Boxy. We basically need to know what this position is during the layout to provide a constraint that is the height of this area here. This is getting complicated. I think we'll park it here. But what we do want to do is Steph still here? I feel like we should do her example. Anyway, let's post this, and as it is, people want to play around with it. You can work on it from this point onwards. Oh, she's still here. Good. Right. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna name it Humpday. What's today's date? 2025.
Steph wants to join. We should get Steph in here.
Yeah, come on then. You got the link, Steph.
Yeah, really. You're in the same channels we are. Not that there's too much more of the show as soon as Simon figures this out.
Well, if Steph wants, if you need to head off around or Steph can stick around, we can look at her quick example maybe. Right. Yeah, I'm
okay. I don't have to leave. I just wanted to Steph wanted to be here.
Yeah.
Here.
All right. So we've got our Humpday example for today. Wow, 2023. That's when it was originally done. All right, I'm gonna do undo on that so we have a record of the original one.
I did
so
say
I've got
we
a copy
were
of it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Everything I did today is gonna get undone.
Infinite undo. Oh, I there's some periods in my life that I'd love to be able to hit an undo button. It doesn't work that way.
I didn't have the check technically, so otherwise this wouldn't be a problem. All right, restart, and then that should go back to how it was, which was at. There we go. Cool. Okay, and then run today's one.
Greetings, Steph.
Hey, Steph.
Hi.
Welcome to the crazy show.
I've been doing paperwork while you were doing that, trying to listen if you said my name.
All right. Well,
I wasn't that I could join, so
it's your time to shine. Right.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends.
Right, let's copy this out. Put this in. What we're going to do? What we're going to call this? I guess name tagging.
Sure. Name recognition. Name tagging. Yeah, tagging.
Input field with name tagging. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Hopefully that means people can find it. Humpday on 15th October 2025. YouTube, where's my YouTube link? Sorry, everyone. Boring show right now. It's the boring show.
No. That name's taken.
See, we can't make that joke. No one's even going to remember it.
Yeah, the more.
Are they not doing it anymore?
No, they've changed it. That's Observable Flutter's the replacement by Craig.
Yeah.
Okay.
So doing a live show rather than the pre-records. It's definitely a lot easier to do, and it's slightly more practical, as we know. Right, there you go. Today's code posted.
Yay!
Yeah. See you guys in 2 years from now. Exactly. You're not wrong.
It'll either be just slightly before or slightly after a bottom sheet question.
Yeah, Trent, we haven't done scrolling. It can be resolved, but just not going to do it right this second. It's just
Or the sharing. Steph wanted the sharing, so maybe
no. I mean I left the placeholder in there.
Scrolling. Right.
Scrolling. Let me get rid of that placeholder. Oopsie.
Yeah, man, we're not doing the dynamic bottom sheet this week. We did that last week and the week before and the week before.
Come back next week and you can
Yeah, we'll probably do it again next week. Yeah, because we should just call this the bottom cheat show.
Right. Let's
Cheat
do.
of bottom.
So you were talking about sharing. So you want to share something
Surplus.
from?
So basically, not. So when I was looking at the package from when you recommended it weeks ago, not sharing images from photo library or anything like that, but, and this is probably not right, it's just what's in my head. So grid view, image, 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 and you tap on one of them and want to share it.
Yeah, you can do that. So let's do that.
And you know, with me and my dyslexia and reading I'm like, yeah, let's see it, because I learned by seeing. And I hadn't come to see you because, well, I don't want to get into that rabbit hole.
Right. Let's see here. So we want a grid view and use grid view builder. Sure. Why have I got an error? Not constant, yes. Okay. And number of items. So I have this photos like little selection here.
Okay.
So I'll price that with it. So I say images dot length, and then our tile will be a material, and on that piece of material we'll have an ink image. Yeah. Sure. And on that ink wall.
And your images you've got listed in another file. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I'll include that in the GIF when we post it. But
okay.
Let's see.
See, the network image is what got me confused also, is because it made me think that it was like going out somewhere to get it as opposed to it's being part of the app. So yeah, I got confused.
Well, I mean, there's some sense. So
I know you can do different things with it, but my situation is very specific. And so I was.
Let's have a look.
While we're waiting, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. I see Randall more than I see you now. It used to be the other way.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I know. I got, well,
there we go. Look at that.
Told me I had to perfectly. Okay.
Pretty pictures.
Those are really pretty.
Yeah. Where did those come from? Those are good.
It's actually Romani guy. He used to work on the Android team at Google, and he used to do, well, he still does his own what's the word? Professional kind of video, photography kind of stuff. And he decided
took all those?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And yeah, credit to Roman.
Now I see. Okay, so when you're doing the network, it's because you're actually going out to the internet.
Yeah, it's to source the image. It doesn't matter where they're sourced from, right? In this case,
right? Okay, so you would still, if they're part of the app and not out on the internet, would you still?
Doesn't make
you wouldn't use network image, right?
No, you would just use it depends on like if they're, so if these images were assets, and I use asset image, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thought so. I just needed to make sure. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I haven't been sleeping, so my brain's a little.
We're gonna just make this slightly nicer, just because I can.
It's okay. I know you're way past time. It's totally fine. I can do this part.
Let's do this.
Past time. It's only past time when everybody has a heart out.
Yeah, you know what I think I need to do, Randall? And
what?
A lot of people aren't going to know this. I think I need to get a frog costume to wear on FCAIC. I think we both should do it. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it would be funny. Go down to
Or a
Lipman's.
unicorn. Or a unicorn. I'll have to
Oh,
see
yeah.
if I can find. I just don't want to pay a ton, but I should go see. Given Halloween costumes are out, I should go see if I can get a
Bluebird
unicorn.
water.
Oh, bluebird, that would be good too. But I have my
Yeah.
cool hat that
Yes,
I got.
you have
So
cooler hats.
I like my hat.
I don't think
So.
anything that qualifies as a costume here.
The only thing I have is I have a cat in the hat, and then I have a skunk ears and hair. Anyway, I need to pay attention.
Yeah.
He's making it so pretty.
Right, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So we've got a nice little pretty list, and when we tap on one of these, we'll have it share.
Yep.
Right. And we can have it. There's a lot of ways of doing this, right? But we'll say void share item. And that's what we're going to put in our inkwell. Okay, so now we're kind of getting there on that front. Is the font size big enough? I can make it bigger.
It's fine. I can see it. And I'm looking both on. Oh, but you know what? I'm on my giant screen. Let me put it on my laptop.
Well, I always feel like it's too small or too big. Hopefully that's legible for most people at home.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we want share plus. So we'll need to have that package on here. Random packages from all over the interwebs. Right. Flutter. Now we do Dart Hub. Add. Share plus.
Oh no. We solved it. Good luck on that. Oh, that's a fun one.
What
How
was
many
I
of those
doing?
could
3.8. Sorry. It's I can't believe that even built. Sorry. Yep, 3.27.4. Right, fine, sure, whatever. I'm using a different version of. Let's just do this then. Okay. Actually, let me undo that. Right. Okay, so there's our Share Plus version 12. It's been added. Right. So let's go back to running this. And now, so I've had to do that because there's native components to the plugin. So when you added one of those plugins, you need to rebuild it from scratch. This is now going to build it again. Whilst it does that, we can work out what we want to do here. So if you want to share something, well, there is the package does actually tell you to do this, but I'm just going to do it like this. Just to just to kind of help. So this is the old share. Look at that. It's now Share Plus. There you go. So we don't actually need that alias. I thought that for some reason I thought it was a top level function, but that's okay. Right. So we have Share Plus, and we want to share. Is it an instance of Share Plus? Oh, yes, instance dot share.
What's the thumbnail?
Share params. I don't remember this. This is new. Well, I'm going to learn. I'm learning.
I'm glad I asked.
All right. Summons the platform share sheet.
Wow. Nice.
Summons it. Yeah.
Ouch.
Right, and then you get share result, sure. So share params for more information. So we have to pass in the share params. The text to share, cool, can be used together. Can it be provided at the same time as the URI? Okay, but can be provided together with files. This is what we want, right? And we got preview thumbnail. Okay, support on platforms Android, ignoring other platforms. Share position origin, so that's it creates zoom effects and stuff on iPads and stuff. So if we chat,
So that's saying, so is that saying it's only available on Android?
What is? Sorry.
Where you have on line 60 or 74?
Yeah, but this is the preview thumbnail. This is like displaying a preview on the screen.
Oh, gotcha.
So iOS doesn't support that, right? The share position here is it will do like an animation. So you see like item 7 here in the middle. We'll give it this rectangle on screen coordinates, and then it would like do a zoom out when you're sharing, right? Stuff like that.
Got it.
Or
Okay.
if you're on an iPad, it pops up the share sheet relative to the thing you're sharing.
Okay.
Share URI, and here's the files. This is the magical thing we actually want to do, which is so we can share an image, which is a file, alongside combined text. Okay.
Okay.
The rest of this is all stuff we don't care about. We can just leave null. So, okay, let's go back to our thing. We're going to do a share params. And then we want to put out our text. Oh, no, it's just AI trying to do it for me. It failed, but it's nice. It's kind. I want to share my picture with you. Whatever it is, right? Now, this is an X file. An X file is just
the sound, the theme show sound, or the show.
Is that going around your head?
It just went through my head now.
Yeah, same
I know, right? That's what I was thinking too. Psychic connection there. That's a
I
little
love it. They call it.
mysterious.
Like, I guess its official name is a cross file. Apparently, I've always called it X file. Yeah.
How many X files do you have?
So you can like load up. You can load this data from anywhere, and that's the notion, right? So these bytes are what you would actually want to send.
Okay.
And you can do a default X file from a path, and that's the same as saying, okay, so don't load in the file from memory, just load it from disk for me. But since we don't have a disk image, right, we need to specify this one here, the bytes. So where do we get the bytes from the file is the next question, right? So in this case, we've got a network image. You were talking about your image is in the assets, right?
Yes, it will be.
So shipped inside the device. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not too dissimilar. And so I think what we'll do is we'll make a generic function that will work with either. Yeah. So let's do that here. So we want to say, we want to create, this is our function. Our function is we want to get the bytes from an image provider. Yeah. So an image provider is any one of those network image, asset image, all of those. They're what you call an image provider. And that's how you can kind of get an image. And it's actually, and it is in this example in here, actually, look, by the looks of it, a way of taking an image provider and getting its image, which is what we want to, what we want to do. So let's do that. So we're going to resolve an image stream. Let's see here. Yep. Oh, butterfingers. Sorry. Image configuration, context, yes, and size, and optional size. Okay, we'll leave that. But why is this having a complaint? Oh, because this is not a state. There you go. Okay. Okay. So now we've got our image stream. So we can get access to the completer. Can we wait on the completer? No, to add listener. I guess we can add. So there's actually a way of doing this. So there's actually a built-in function. This all seems a bit much. What's it called? Come on, Simon. List image, decode image from list, which is very similar to what we want to do, not exactly what we want to do. Yeah, so we get a frame from the codec there. All right, look, well, there is actually a function built in to do this. I know there is, but I can't remember what it is. So we're going to do it manually. Right, so we'll create a listener. That's going to grab our data. And so I'm just going to go in the inner working center to see what we're doing here. I'm wondering if we can do it without the if we have a current image, does it immediately list us out? That's not okay. So we need it to unregister when we get out, and then essentially return that data. So what we'll do instead is we'll create a completer. And make this async. We actually don't need the function to be async, but we do need to return our completer's future. Right. I think it's close. It's been a while since I've used this, so let's see what the example says. Okay, yeah, resolve an image. If key changes, remove it, sure. Remove a listener, sure. And you get the image info at the off the back end of it, which is fine. And we're going to take the image returned, create a byte array from it. In this case, as a PNG. You could do a JPEG. I don't know what type of image that you're trying to share, but it's probably PNG is correct in your situation.
Yes.
I
could change them if I needed to. But yeah, right now they're PNGs.
Fetch image bytes from image provider. I don't know. Sounds good. And we could do like a format, something like that. Right. There's also scale actually saying that. Is that handled for us? I can't remember. It's been a while. Oh, we got the synchronous one as well now, haven't we? There's a to image sync day or something. Have they not forwarded that on? They better done. Oh look, decode image from pixels. No, I thought that was the one I was looking for. Anyway, right. So this is going to create our completer, and we're going to complete with this. I guess we'll actually do it this way. The thing is, I don't know if there's a dispose on this actually. No. See, I swear there was like a nice way of doing like the completer. It's an image stream completer. Let me just. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, ignore that. Right. Where was I? And this is the hard one here. Oops. Why you no work? Byte data. Oh. Is it a future? It's not, is it? Oh, it is. Really? Wait, what? Since when? Oh, this might 2 byte data might return now. All right, let's just treat that as an error. So we're just gonna do that. Okay, now what is wrong with this picture? Why is listener a problem? Because it's not an implementation of image stream listener used by image stream, and I swear there's some implementations of this in the framework. It's getting a little bit more complicated than what I wanted. Oh well. This is me because I'm trying to make it generic, but I think it's a good idea. No, there is no implementation. So, oh, we can do it. Oh, there is new constructor. Ah, that's what I want. And then image listener. Ah, okay. Okay, let's do this then. I am mistaken. So this is our response. So we'll say final. Yeah, let's do final listener equals dot from this. It should do what I want. There we go.
Wait. Okay, wait, you just said dot from, but I don't see where you put the dot.
Yeah, be 1 second. Just
okay.
Right. So this is our final function. So let's walk through it. So fetch image bytes from image provider. So we give an image provider and the format that we're in, PNG. We create a completer to handle our response from some future. We resolve the image provider using a configuration from our context. This resolves it based on scale of the screen and some other things. We can obviously change how we want to do that in the future, but this is default. Our image stream will output an image once it loads it from the image provider. So we create an image stream listener, which has our callback for when it's complete. We then register that listener with the image stream, its completer.
Wait, what did you just remove?
Oh, because it had completer on there. You don't need to interact with the completer directly. You can.
Okay.
It was a mistake from the code generator. Sorry.
Okay.
So now, so we add our listener, and then we wait for our future to be completed, which means this got its callback with the image and it decoded it successfully. Yeah. We could, and in fact we should, do a error one and say if there was a error, then complete our, if it failed to load the image for whatever reason, like network failure or whatever else, then it will still complete our future, but it will complete with an exception. And that will be thrown from our outside function. So what we actually want to do here is say a try finally. That ensures that our this ensures that our listener gets removed. So we don't have like this listener getting completed in the future, which it can't be. So that piece of weird and funky code is should do what we want. So now when you press the share button, we can say final image equals fetch image from image provider. So now we need our image provider. In this case, we'll do a network image, but that could also be, you know, an asset image or wherever else. Right. And now we have our image data. This is our image PNG data. Yep. We can now.
I just put image data because if you were to come back through and change it from PNG to JPEG, you don't have to rename that.
Well, no, that's the whole point of naming it. So I know it's PNG, right?
Oh, got it. Okay.
if I was to change the type here to like JPEG, then I'd be changing the variable name, right? But
Okay, fine. Okay.
I appreciate your point. So in here, image.png, there's our PNG data. We'll wait for it up here for share. We want our MIME type. What else can we add in here? Length, last modified. Option, you can initialize bytes and lengths, so no HTTP requests are performed to retrieve the data layer. Sure. Bytes. Okay. So I'm doing the wrong thing here. It's not X file, it's X file from data. So let me correct that. Nearly. Then we've got our MIME type and name, which makes sense now, and then anything else we want to add. All right. So obviously we could name it whatever we want. And if it was JPEG, then that would be a different MIME type. But this is basically how we're attaching the data. I feel like it'd be nice if there was like an X file from image or X file from something else. I mean, they got the X file from path, which is fine. It's like a default, but yeah. So let's restart this and see what happens if I tap on that. Hey, look. There's the picture. Cool. So, yeah.
They just share it with somebody around to share it with.
Yeah.
Like the dog. The dog wants to
I have
share
to go. Mail is here.
And it's actually sharing it.
I have to go and mail.
No worries. Anyway, so I think that's the key point. So I'll put that code up online. But yeah, it's this magical bit in here which was missing, which I kind of feel like is a bit, yeah.
Thank you.
You can also do another thing, which is like sharing from a like a widget. So let's say this is quite a popular thing to do as well. So see, you have like one of these ones here that says item 4 in it. Well, you might want to share this image with the word item 4 on it, right? So all this thing about loading images is fine, but actually what you want to do is capture a widget, right? So there's another way of doing that. So we'll just extend this to do that briefly. Not what I want to do. Right.
So are you saying when you say the item 4 sharing it with it, are you talking about like you're seeing it here or having it be?
Well, you'll see hang it. So
okay.
Fetch image bytes from widget for widget. Fetch image for widget. I don't know. Something like that. So
I like how you have that change so you know there's a problem with it.
Oh, what, the red?
Yeah,
you can just change that in your ID settings. So instead of doing a red underline, the red background, which I find a lot more helpful than the underlines, to be honest. But
yeah, I agree. So I'll be making some updates.
So what we're going to do is each one of our material widgets, we're going to wrap that with a render boundary, repaint boundary. That's right, a repaint boundary. And then we key that widget with a key based on its index. We can come find it again. So we'll since we have a fixed number, we're just going to do this a bit. I don't know. There's better way of doing this. This is just an example. This is a global key for a boundary paint bunch, isn't it? Something like that. No. I'll find it in a second. Where is it? Here's my render boundary. Oh. No, it's not that. It's yeah. Okay. No, ignore me. I'm doing it wrong, but that's fine. We just need any global key will do. Okay, so we create our keys. This is so we can find the widgets later, right? After they've been built. So we have our item keys. So we create one for each of the potential images, and then we're going to use that in our list to key the widget, the repaint boundary. And we go to fetch it. What we're essentially doing is saying, give me the render object for that keyed widget as a render repaint boundary.
This looks familiar. We've done this before.
Yeah. And then on our
We
render
grabbed
boundary,
the image.
or
Something.
Yeah, image. The one time I want it, I can't find it. To image. That's close. Yeah. So you do to image and leave it async. Now we have an image. We need to go at the bytes. Oh, look, there you go. So we're going to take the same format option and bring it over. Where are we? Sure. And return the data. So now what this is doing, now there's a difference here. A very specific, very particular difference I want to explain. So the screen that I'm displaying this on, let's say my mobile phone screen, right? This is going to be a particular resolution. So this widget is going to be based off the resolution of my screen, because I'm not specifying from to image. I'm not specifying a pixel render. It's 1-to-1, right? So what I'm trying to get is if this original image in the background was, say, full HD, well, and my display of my phone is full HD, well, the image out is not going to be full HD anymore. It's going to be a third of that, because it's a third of the width, right?
Okay.
That kind of makes sense. We're getting the image size relative to what it's displayed on the screen. Now you can change that by changing that pixel ratio, but then you need to calculate that for yourself, right? Because it depends on what you want. So anyway, fetch image for widget. So now if I drop that in here instead of this,
And what you're doing now is if you're wanting to include the text, not just the image, correct?
yeah, or anything. It could not just be text, and be anything you want on a widget, right? So
Yeah.
quite
It's
popular
anything on a
for
widget. Okay.
it's quite popular for games to do a final screen on a game. Say you've won your game, share this with your friends, and
Yeah.
it shows the image of what you want to share, which is like a widget. And what it does is this: it puts a repaint boundary around it, and when you press the share button, what it's doing is capturing that on what's on the screen and sharing that. Right, so now we've done this. If I restart the app and now click on item 7, it doesn't do anything apparently.
Yeah. Well, it almost worked.
What went wrong? Return image data. Oh wait, yeah, no, this is all correct. A global key. Oh, did I get an error? I might probably got an error. There we go. Look at that.
Check the errors.
Unhandled exception to image.
Hmm.
Needs debug. Wait, what? What?
What was that?
To image in the framework. Needs debug needs paint
Right.
is not true.
Hmm.
What?
Wait, it's not debug needs paint. It's not true.
I know. That's why I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Hang on.
You
I am
inverted it. Yeah, that's right. Hmm.
I know they've done a capture widget. It's gonna. Is it not gonna be the ink? The ink. Didn't they do like a? I swear there was like a new thing they were doing around this to make it easier. Okay. It's definitely be right. I can't tell you what was going wrong there right now. Imagery paint boundary. This is the key. The keys are created when we create add. Item 0 to things, so they're going to be indexed correctly. As long as unique, it doesn't really make much difference. So let's do this. Let's do this and say, hey a minute. For key current context, fine. Okay. I mean, it got the render boundary because otherwise it wouldn't have gone to the 2 image.
Somebody put a comment in. They don't know if it's
There's your caption
they had
widget,
an
but
idea.
doing the ripple effect. Just an idea. No. No, it shouldn't be it. It's basically there's an assert here. Debug needs paint. Oh, I see what you're saying. Where there's render objects paint, information is dirty. Yeah, you could be right. It could be right there. It could be rendering it. It could be that the ripple effect is still occurring after the tap has been completed, maybe. Let's do a gesture detector. See if that's so. Okay, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Yep. Now got to.
Oh, good call.
Oh. Okay, so first of all that. So we can still do this, but we would need to essentially. It's kind of shit, to be honest. I feel like there should be a 2 image should just wait for when it's next ready and then capture the image. That's just crazy. All right, so what we can do, we can solve that actually. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you how we can solve this. We can solve this by just saying we get it and then say capture the image at the next widget dot. We'll do the same thing as before. Where is it? Completer. Boom. And then we'll wait on that completer as the response to our function. Oops. And then we'll say widgets binding and post frame callback. Sure. Being binding. And then we'll just say a try catch error. Actually, so, yeah, no, what? All right, let's see what happens. Ta-da! Okay.
Nice.
So what's happening there is we're waiting for the frame to finish painting, so the end post frame, right? And that guarantees that this is not going to be dirty. And then the next frame of ripple animation will occur after that, or whenever, right? It's not necessarily ripple in this case, but there is it could be a leftover part of that ripple. Yeah, you can see it in the middle. See, it's glowing in the middle of that image. Oh no, it's doing that on the image itself. I think this is just yeah, I think it's just again the start of the animation. Obviously, you know, if you did have that, you could also wait the ripple duration or something like that. Anyway, can we share the grid views in global key? Yes, you can. So let's do that. So we take our grid view and then we give it a key, and we'll say grid key, and then wrap that in a inkwell on its own. Sure, why not? On tap, and we can say, what was it? Share item instead of share item. We'll just do an inline one. It was why don't we do this? This has now become not share item but key, right? So let's make a new function here and say void share from key, right? And we'll have our global key. Grab all that. Copy that into there. And then let's say fetch from key. And that way I can leave the original, which was with image data, in there. We have share item image and share item or share from key. Is that right? Cool. Cool. So now share from key we can use in our, this would be grid key. We'll find what that is. Yeah. And then down here we'll do another on tap share from key. There we go. So Steph, if you want to try a different one, you just need to comment this line out and uncomment this one, and that will swap out which function we're using. And then I'll create grid key in here.
I'm so glad I asked this because I would have been banging my head on my desk.
Oh yeah, no, and yeah, I think the thing is like that wasn't obvious, right? It's about to grab that image, and you don't necessarily have to do a bunch of this, but this is a good little something to explore. All right.
Also, it'll be a good learning opportunity and get my brain into different stuff. So
yeah. The hope here is if I tap in a white space here, it should fail. Fetch image, render clip rectors, not a subtype. Oh yeah, that would be my fault. My bad. We need to wrap our thing with a repaint boundary. I'll put a key on that. Don't. Right. Try that again. And there you go. There's our image of our widget in the middle there.
So what if you don't want it to do that and you want it to do nothing if you click in the white space around it?
Why not? I just add, that's what I'm saying. I just added that in to demonstrate.
Oh, gotcha.
Someone asked in the chat, can we use the grid view to?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah, you can share any widget, right? You just wrap it in a repaint boundary and you can capture the image basically. So, all right. I think that's it then.
Thank you.
So the bit, if you're using asset images, then the only bit you really need is, where was it? Is this function fetch image from image provider, and then the example of using that. So I'm just going to split these up a bit. Is the function above share item image, right? And then you would just put an asset image instead of a network image. And that's it. So whenever you press your share button, you would call a function like this, which fetches the image for an asset image and then attaches that PNG file to the whatever it is. So obviously the name of the file here is what it's called in the receiving program. So you might want to
Yeah.
change this to like whatever it is that you're sharing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite flexible. I think there's name of the file that was selected by the user on their device. For non-web implementations, this represents the last part of the file system path, so the name of the file. Uses only for cosmetic reasons, do not try to use this as a path. So this is
So it's sort of a suggested name, probably.
sorry.
It's sort of a suggested name then.
Oh yeah, this is just so that other people know like what is. You don't have to put it in there, but then the other app might not treat it. So some apps treat things based on their extension, not the MIME type.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for implementing share to a Flutter? You mean share to your app so you can receive data from someone else? Well, that's just implementing an intent filter.
Yep.
There's actually examples of that as well.
That could be a whole nother show.
It's another time. We're way over schedule, but I'm glad we did that. That was really helpful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's the time? Let's post
before.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's published, including the test app too that you had before. Is that published?
Yeah, the other one's published. Yeah, the input field with tagging. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's published. Let me put that just in the chat. I don't know if I did put it in chat, but it's here. So that's the one.
Yeah, Madden says he couldn't find it. So.
Well, it's definitely been there. And then this one, we'll call this one. Share image from app. Sounds about right. Share image from app. And then this is main.dart. Add file. Photos.dart. And let's include that. Right. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's press the publish button. And this is the sample we've just been working on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The repo is not a public repo. I don't want people like give me suggestions on like patches. These are code snippets. So that's what the gists are for. We'll probably sort something out in the future, maybe a bit more permanent. That's probably the wrong idea. But...
Well, I know how to get a hold of you too.
That works.
Well, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.
That's all right. It was fun.
Glad I was able to join. And it looks like there were people who got something out of it too. So that's also good. We didn't lose people.
Yeah. Well, not that we can't find him next week.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if oh, he does. Look at that. Look. Comments on stage. Look, I just realized I can do that now.
Oh,
Say what now?
Look on the on the bottom right, you can get content.
Oh yeah. That is kind of cool.
Nice.
It's new beta feature. There you go. We should turn that on during the stuff in the future.
Well, if you've got 4 people, what happens?
Real estate. Yeah, we need real estate. Yeah. We don't need more things on the screen.
True.
We need more screens. That's it. We should be able to go 3 wide. You need 3 monitors to watch the bottom sheet show. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, bottom sheet.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you very much. It was nice to be here.
No, good show. And
Check
we'll
out my
catch up with
channel.
everyone.
Check out my channel.
Everyone's
There'll be more videos on it soon.
Don't
Bye.
come to FCAIC next week for part
Yeah.
2 of Randall's
Here
presentation.
on this very channel.
Me.
Don't forget to like and
Me on
subscribe. And
Monday.
all that channels on YouTube.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
subscribe to the channel. You get the other streams that we do as well. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.